it is round 3, and this game is promising to be a bit of a beauty because we have last year's Premier and Rovers who are yet to get a win on the board, of course going down to Brigades in their first encounter and having the bye last week. Railways coming into the competition with the bye in the first week and easily beating Towns at the recreation ground yesterday. I'm very interested, Glenn, to have a look at the Railways lineup because I believe that only up to, I think, 9 players from last year's lineup are out on the park. So wholesale changes there at the Blues.
Yes, look at the Railways side today, and from the back line, Jim, who's a new player, Drew Tunbridge and Matt Kimberley. Centre line, Jamie Huggins, Jesse Adamini and Antonio Priolo. Half forwards, Jordan Williamson, Ben Saunders and Jack Connell. And Damien King, Ryan Letessia and Harry Anderson make up the full forward line. First ruck for the Blues today, Michael McConnell, MJ McConnell, Dion Anthony as the ruck rover, Corey Clark, the young man, as the rover. Interchange players, Blake Stanton, Owen Delaney, Nathan Danzik and Dion Drage. Dion didn't play footy last year, back into the Railways lineup today, so we do wish him well. So that's the Railway side. Peter, you've got the Rovers side in front of you.
Yeah, from the back line it reads Tristan Simpson, Jamie Gear and Bo Simpson, Sean Brennan, Stuart Egan and Tom Collins on the half-back line, Dalton Jones, Chris Scott and Kyan Townsend make up the centre line, Jai Thurston, Kobe Simpson, Jack Osborne, Farron Parfitt, Clay Zavado, and I think this person here, Glenn?
Harry Cross.
Harry Cross. That's just coming to the side. And the ruck division comprised of Dylan Curley, Joshua Simpson and Glenn Prosser. The interchange players for the Demons today, Blake Taswell, Roland Drummond, Mitch Nesbitt and Alec Johnson.
Yeah, I've gone for Railways today because I think their pre-season probably puts them a little bit ahead of Rovers at the moment. Rovers were disappointing in their first game. It just didn't gel. And they've made a few changes today, but I noticed that Tom Denton's not in the side today for Rovers. Railways, on the other hand, they've been training hard for a long period of time. They know the system, and they'll play the system today, as Dave Fiorenzo, one of our guests in the Footy Forum, said this morning. They've got a very good system. They play with that. The weather will suit them, and their fitness may be a little bit above Rovers at this stage. So I'm going for Railways in this contest. Peter, how do you see it?
Well, Glenn, I believe what you're saying is quite true. Rovers a little bit, well, they haven't hit their straps, and they often are customarily slow to start the season. But Railways, as you said, they've been training for several weeks, or the pre-season has been a bit longer than the Demons. And, well, the way if they play like they did last week, then we can expect a good game from them. But anything can happen. It's still early days in the season.
And that's the thing, though, Peter. You've really got to start your season pretty quickly now. With only 12 games, you can't afford to have a slow start or have a lull in the mid-season or during the year, because the season is 12 games this year. Home, away, six home, 6 away, and then into the finals. Of course, a special weekend it is, as Umpires Appreciation Weekend. And we've got 3 very good umpires controlling the game for the GNFL today. Kevin Osborne, Randall Starling and Stephen Pratt. We wish them all well. And of course, we've just seen the players line up, and it is the weekend to thank umpires. With over 2,100 community football games each weekend, umpires play a critical role in our game, and the WA Footy Commission is committed to ensuring that all umpires are respected and thanked for their role that they play in each and every game each weekend. You can assist this by all coaches thanking the umpires and shaking the players' hands and also the umpires' hands, speaking with your players and spectators about the important role that umpires play, and encourage all players to shake the umpire's hand after the game and support the umpire's decisions and don't react to decisions. Ensure that coaches, players and spectators all adhere to the WA Footy Commission's true sports code of conduct and show respect. So that's where we are. So together, the WA Footy community can have a significant impact on ensuring positive game day environment for everyone. So we do wish the umpires all the best for today, and as I said, plenty of experience there controlling the game this afternoon, and we look forward to a really entertaining contest here from Greenough Oval. Umpire Stephen Pratt going into position, coaches going into their positions, John Reynolds of course coaching Railways, and Ian Comben coaching Rovers this afternoon. Ian Comben, he's been around the place for a long time as a senior coach and a premiership coach 3 times at Rovers. J.R. Reynolds taking on the reins at Railways for the first time in the senior role. Of course, a J.J. Clune medalist. We do wish him well, and really looking forward to this contest today. Rovers are breaking up from their huddle. They're just in front of the Rover Football Club, breaking up and running to position. Railways are already in the position. Looking at the Railways opening 4 in the square, MJ McConnell is the ruckman, and there we have the other player is Corey Clark, who's a young colt, Jesse Adamini, and the other player is Dion Anthony. Of course, Dion Anthony played with some distinction at East Fremantle. Rovers going into the centre now, and that includes Josh Simpson, a very good player, of course, and also Dylan Curley and Chris Scott, I should say, and the other player is a very useful player too in the midfield, and I'll pick him out shortly. And umpire about to get this game underway. And the other player is Glenn Prosser, of course. Glenn Prosser, who played with distinction and in a premiership side for Rovers last year. Umpire Pratt about to get the game underway. The big one this afternoon, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. And umpire Pratt puts the ball into the air and the big fellas go at it. Rovers get the best of it through Curley. Curley gets it down towards Prosser. Prosser gets it over towards Clark. Clark gets it over towards the player there in Kyan Townsend. And Rovers go quickly into attack, deep into the forward pocket, just in front of the Rover Football Club rooms. And the ball is out of bounds and the boundary umpire will come in and throw the ball down. Other games today, big ones in the GNFL, round 3 of the GNFL Premiership season. We have got a big game up at Mullawa hosting Northampton, and out at Brigades looking after Towns out there and hosting them.
Chris Scott getting it out of the middle early for Rovers. He'll be pivotal in this game this afternoon. Ball thrown in front of the Rovers club rooms. Nothing happening there. Up it goes again. Players setting themselves. Knocked to ground. A bit of a patch in front of the goal area, but the kick comes off a Railways boot out to the Hallward Road side of the ground, but it's Rovers who have possession. Running in now, it goes the way of the player there in Sean Brennan. Brennan comes across again, or actually goes to the outer side, and we find the boundary once again. So in Rovers forward 50 early, the early stages of this particular game, I'd say the breeze is slightly favouring the city end, but going across the ground as we speak. So no end really at advantage at this point. The ball up into the air, socket off the ground into the half-forward area it goes now and again off shins and over the boundary. A nice crowd in attendance today, Glenn, and it's good to see that GNFL and local footy is up and about.
It certainly is, and it's great to see. I've been to 3 weekends in a row now, big crowds in every game I've been to, and good footy. If the footy is half as good today as it was last week and the week before, I'll be a very happy man. Ball comes back into play from the boundary throw-in. Railway slapped the ball forward, but only as far as the Rovers player there in Townsend. He goes back by hand, pack around the ball. Umpire has no option but to come in and bounce the ball down. We quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the city of Greater Geraldton, and we can tell you the women's game played out at Brigades. Brigades 2-8-20 have defeated Towns 2-4-16.
The ball knocked down by the Railways ruckman to ground. It's picked up by Smith now, I should say. That player there I'm talking about, the player Chris Scott, captain of the Rovers side. He kicks it into the half-forward area. A nice mark is taken in the full-forward area. Rovers have a shot on goal now, and it looks like it is Kobe Simpson. Kobe has a shot on goal, all too quickly though. He got away from his man too quickly, a little bit too too early for Kobe on that occasion, and only putting it through for the minor score. So, could have been a goal on the ball for the Demons, but they have kept it, as I mentioned, in their forward 50 to this point. As I said, Chris Scott, a pivotal part. He will play a pivotal part in this game. Certainly is figuring the current JJ Clune medalist. The ball coming out now for Railways to the outer side, that is the Hallward Road side of the ground, opposite the broadcast side here this afternoon. A nice big kick, comes off hands and over the boundary. So at the moment, Glenn, Rovers locking it into their forward 50. Yeah,
2 minutes gone in this first term with thanks to the Community Bank Geraldton, and Rovers 1 behind. Railways yet to score on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Ball comes back in from the boundary throw-in. One of the star players is Josh Simpson. He's been in very good form early. Had a very good pre-season, according to his coach, Ian Comben. And Josh Simpson gets the reward. He has a free kick on half forward. Plays on quickly now. Kicks it up towards full forward, looking there for Roland Drummond. Railways defence get the ball out by hand. Can they get the ball out of the danger zone? It's deep in the left or right forward pocket, just in front of the Rover Footy Club. And the ball still running free, picked up by the dangerous Drummond now. He slaps it over, goes the way of a player who's tackled high, and the umpire's seen it the way I have. And Josh Simpson will get the free kick and shoot on goal. Josh Simpson is 40 metres out, right on the boundary line, about 10 metres in from the boundary line in the Rover Football Club pocket, kicking towards the city end and the demolished old Greenough Council Chambers. Bit sad to see the Greenough Council Chamber knocked down, but it's almost completely down. Not quite yet, but it will be by the end of the week, I'd say. There goes the kick from Simpson, picks out another Simpson and picks out Kobe Simpson. Josh Simpson to Kobe Simpson, and Kobe Simpson is only 25 to 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle, kicking to the city end of the ground, the Greenough Shire office end of the ground. So Kobe, who generally plays in defence, very talented player, wears the helmet. There goes the kick from Kobe Simpson, straight through the centre, and the first goal of the afternoon on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Rovers go to 1-1-7. They lead Railways yet to open their account, and we've played 3.5 minutes in this first term, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
It's going to be a bit of demolition around this area, Glenn, in the next 12 to 18 months. The old Rovers change rooms and canteen will be demolished over the next 12 months as well to make way for a new facility. So things are happening here at Greenough Oval.
Yeah, that's right. I think the second half of the season, there's no games here because the demolition will have begun.
Okay, back in the middle now, Rovers first blood this afternoon, and thanks to Chapman Road Dental Clinic, it is Rovers 1-1-7, leading Railways yet to open their account. Simpson, that's Josh Simpson, and also Kobe Simpson figuring predominantly, along with Chris Scott for the Demons early. Railways trying to peg it back. Breeze not a factor at the moment, one would think. The breeze going, or wind going across the ground. Here is again. That's Chris Scott. Out in the middle it goes. Azevedo collects it back to Scotty. Shrugs off a tackle, puts it onto his boot, aims for the big sticks. It's a short kick. And there he finds Drummond, I think. A beautiful mark by Drummond. And he is a goal sneak and a half, Glenn. And he's marked from about 15 to 20 metres out from goal.
Yes, he's a very talented player, is Drummond.
Beautiful kick from Scott.
Played a lot of good footy last year, as did his captain in Chris Scott, who, as we know, won the JJ Clune medal last year. So Roland Drummond. He's a Monty from here. He's only 25 metres out, directly in front. He kicks the hard ones. Can he kick the easy ones? There goes the kick. He can't. He's at the post 3/4 the way up. So that is a disappointing effort in that regard, because he does kick the very difficult ones. But as I said,
as your old mate from country we would say, Glenn, kick it, son. That's why they pump him up. That's
right. He get it stuck between the goalposts. But he didn't on that occasion. He hit the goalpost. So Railways in trouble as they bring the ball out of defence. And Drummond was offline on that occasion. Jesse Moore.
Kick through the ball.
Jesse Moore has the ball, the veteran, on half back for the Blues. Jesse Moore playing good footy still. Gets the big kick out towards centre wing, outer side. The ball goes the way of Railways. Railways player goes towards the boundary line, but the boundary line comes in and there'll be a boundary throw-in. True centre wing on the Greenough Oval on the Hallwood Road side. The ball will be thrown in. Time ticking by in this first term. We've played 7 minutes in term number 1. With thanks to Gerald Wood goes the way now of Jesse Adamini. He slaps it out, goes the way to a teammate. That teammate eventually gets a handball away, looking for the player there in Declan Scriven. A big pack develops. Umpire Osman giving it plenty of opportunity to come out. Eventually it does. Rovers player throws it on his left boot, kicks it towards the forward line. Picked up now by Moore. Jesse Moore for the Blues. Kicks it back towards half back. Looking there is a Rovers player fighting hard for the ball. Umpire says all players were going at the ball, and umpire Kevin Osborne will come in and throw the ball up. It's a special umpires day today, appreciation day, and Kevin Osborne, Randall Starling and Steve Bratt doing the job for the GNFL this afternoon.
Good job so far. Big game here this afternoon. The ball coming out of that pack, Dion Anthony. A nice little handball out to Priolo. Priolo down the line and finds the chest of Jordan Williamson. Back in town this year, had a few years at East Fremantle. He sends it down the wing, just at centre wing in front of our broadcast position. It goes the way now of Henry Anderson. He sends it inboard. Railway still have control, or do they? The ball goes into the half-forward area. Saunders moves in. He tries to soccer it forward. Had 2 bites of the cherry. The defender for Rovers dives on top of the ball, gets it out of danger. Back through the middle. Rovers out of danger, one would think, as they kick 2. the outer side, the Horwood Road side of the ground. It goes the way now of the player there in Townsend. Townsend, the little speedster, puts it over the top of his teammate, though, into space. He's picked up by the Railways custodian now. Goes back to Rovers. Rovers in the middle of the ground. Can they set something up? The ball in the middle. The player is quickly dragged. Caught in possession, is he not? And the ball is going the way of that player. In fact, he's lost possession. The ball is with Railways. They kick to the outer side where the nice mark is taken by the player there. And that player there, I think, was Damien King.
There goes the big kick from the Railways player. Newcomer gets it up towards half forward, but nobody home for the Blues. And Rovers' defence take a good mark. Rovers player now told to play on. He does. Puts it on his left boot and gets a short pass. Picks out a Rovers player who I haven't got written down at the minute. And I'll find out who he is in just a moment. There goes the Rovers.
That's not Azevedo, is it, Glenn?
It could be.
I think it might be.
Gets the ball forward. Gets it up towards half forward. Looking up there for Josh Simpson again. But the umpire says, no, you weren't pushed, Josh. And the Railways defenders grab the ball and get the ball out through Delaney. Goes the way of Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders' body's feeling good this afternoon, he told me before the game. Gets it out towards Owen Delaney. He gets a big kick forward. Looking up there for a teammate. Goes the way of Railways now. Goes from Jesse Adamini, who gives it away by hand to Dion Anthony. And Railways get the easiest of goal. That's the best passage of play from the Blues this afternoon. We've played some 10 minutes in this first term. Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day on Community Bank, with thanks to the Community Bank Geraldton. And it is on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Rovers are 1-2-8. They lead Railways 1 goal straight.
Adamini there to a new teammate and an old teammate. Actually probably would have played Colts together, one would think, at the Railway Football Club as well, Dion Anthony. And he certainly is going to be a key player in the competition this year, if not just for the Railway Football Club. But, of course, Adamini, been at Railways for a couple of years now. And that was a great combo, as Glenn said, one of the best patches of play so far this afternoon. So the scoreboard reads 1 goal straight to Railways. They trail 2 points to Rovers. They are 1-2-8 here on Radio Mama. The ball going forward now, going the way of Chris Scott again. Gets it to a teammate, puts it onto his boot into the full-forward area. I think it's Azevedo who puts it onto his boot. It's a nice big kick, but it goes a bit wayward. No, it's taken a mark right inside the boundary, and I think it is Josh Simpson. So Josh Simpson has marked just in front of the Rovers club rooms. He's about 30 metres out. I kick him at training from here all the time, Glenn. So let's see what he can do. So Josh Simpson, he's had a few possessions so far this afternoon. Check side kick. Is it going to make the distance? Flies across the top of
beautiful mark.
Goal, and up into the air goes the player to take a beautiful mark, and Farron Parfitt. Gee, that was up above into the clouds, as you heard from Glenn. And Farron Parfitt doesn't let his teammates down and scores another goal for the Demons.
Yes, that's one of the X factors. You talk about it a lot, Peter, during the week and during the commentary. The X factor players, and Farron Parfitt is that. He just does those special things. Good kick from Josh Simpson into the teeth of goal. And Rovers look to be outnumbered, outgunned. But across the top of the pack comes Farron Parfitt, takes a great mark, plays on quickly, screws it around the corner, straight through the centre, and on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Rovers are 2 goals 2, and Railways are 1 goal.
Rovers be looking for a good season from Farron. Glennie is their captain, but also has had a couple of seasons with injury plagued.
Yes, he has a lot of issues with ankles, because even at the All-Star game a month ago, the game played at Towns, the GNFL All-Star game, he again had an ankle problem. So the ankle problem hasn't gone away. Let's hope it's heavily strapped and he can get through this season. Ball comes up from the throw up there from the umpire, picked up now by the big man in Ryan Latesia for the Blues. Kicks it up towards half forward. Ball comes out, goes the way of Rovers in Dylan Curley. Curley slaps it out, but only goes as far as Stuart Egan. And Egan does very well. And in fact, it's Dion Drage, who is playing for Railways. Stuart Egan has now gone to Rovers, and Dion Drage back after a year off for footy.
That was a snap, Glenn.
And a good effort, wasn't it? He knew he kicked it straight away. He knew he got a goal on the board. So it's a tit for tat. Rovers have 2, Railways have 2. A really good contest here on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard this first quarter on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. This round 3 contest is for Active West Real Estate, and a good goal there from Dion Drage back in the Blues lineup this year.
They're not Nagel boys doing the scoreboard today because they just had the same score up. They've just realised that it's 2 points the difference now. So the score 2-2-14. That is Rovers leading Railways 2 straight goals 12. Thanks to the Chapman Road, I should say, Dental Clinic. Ball coming out of the middle. Railway starting to get a little bit of an edge now as the ball goes the way of the player then, Henry Anderson. Anderson puts it on his boot. He kicks to the Hallwood Road side of the ground. Picked up by Williamson. Williamson, a likely customer. Kicks straight to the Rovers opponent, though. That player puts it into the middle of the ground. Indiscriminate, though. Players dive on top of it. The ball goes to the bottom of the pack. It's Railways who do the better. Starting to get on top, as I've said. This player, too, I've seen a bit of him. Henry Anderson. He gets a nice chip pass outside the centre square where it is marked by the veteran, who is certainly going to figure this year. And he sends it down into the half-forward area. I'm talking about Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders knows where to kick a ball. He knows how to set things up, and the mark is taken by Dion Anthony. So Dion Anthony, of course, came up a couple of years ago and played some marquee games for the Northampton Football Club, Glenn, because, of course, his mum comes from Northampton, so his Northampton pedigree, but, of course, played his juniors football at the Railway Football Club along with both his brothers. A kick from Dion Anthony. Looks pretty good off the boot. Yes, it's cleared everything and gone through for another goal. So suddenly, Railways have hit the lead here in our Drennan O'Malley game day. Seems
like you have to be a Dion to kick a goal for Railways today. Dion Anthony's kicked 2. Dion Drage has kicked 1. And Dion Anthony's kicked 2. Dion Drage has kicked 1. And for the Rovers Club, their goal scorers to this point, Farron Parfitt kicked the last goal. Kobe Simpson kicked the first goal. So Dion Anthony, a very handy player, I believe. Dion is going travelling, one of the travelling players that's going away mid-season, and it'll be interesting to see if he and his brother Liam played in the premiership for CBC Fremantle in the amateur league last year, Glenn. Right, so they're both very skilled players, there's no doubt about it. Ball comes in and the throw-up, a free kick's been picked out, go the way of the hard-running Rovers player Glenn Prosser. A lot to like about this player. His kick is a low one. Picks out Dylan Curley. Curley goes right across the ground, looking out there for Kyan Townsend. Townsend has the ball on half forward, kicks it deep into the forward pocket. Beautiful kick. Picks out Josh Simpson. Simpson turns around on his left boot, screws it towards goal. Ball running free. And it's a goal. It was a beautiful goal. Umpire waiting on the no, touch ball. So there you go. So it must have been a bit more dramatic than we needed. Yes, but a good effort. It was a very good effort. Probably another wasted opportunity, perhaps, as the ball comes back into play. Railways quickly get the ball out wide, looking out there for Anthony. Ball comes forward. Once again, in goes the Rovers player in Simpson. The ball does spill out, goes the way of the player there for Railways, but who's put a good tackle on the Rovers player, and a good tackle it was. And Rovers will pay the penalty, so Railways get the free kick. So Anthony is that player, good tackler, plays on across the ground, picks out Jesse Moore. Jesse Moore comes across the centre, kicks it out towards half forward. Jamie Huggins, a veteran player, not sure that he played footy last year, but he's back this year. Gets it forward, up towards half forward, goes the way now of player in Declan Scriven. He goes by hand to a teammate there in Tessio. He's picked out Ben Saunders. And Ben Saunders is marked. Not a noted goal scorer. Ben Saunders, 35 metres. Sporting a new look this year with his socks up, Glenn. Yeah, very, very mature, isn't it? So Ben Saunders looking like a different player. So Ben Saunders, 35 metres out, directly in front, shooting on goal, and Railways can extend their lead. They lead by 3 points at the moment. Can he get it to 9? There goes the kick from Ben Saunders. He's straight through the centre. Well done, Ben. Ben Saunders gets his first of the afternoon. Railways get their fourth on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic. Railways go to 4 goals straight, 24. They lead Rovers 2-3-15. And Railways very, very steady in the opening quarter and doing well with some 20 minutes gone in this term. Thanks very much to Geraldton Community Bank for coming on board this year, sponsoring this particular quarter, and also GNFL Footy Forum regular as part of Sportshed Saturday and a Saturday morning. Glenn caught up today with his regular panellists and also with Dave Forenza, who's very excited about Country Week, Glenn. Which is good to see, isn't it? Early July, first week end of the school holidays, or the midweek of the school holidays, and that's Country Week, and that'll be when the Colts and the senior men play, and the women play a little little bit later on. And the week after that, there'll be a waffle game in Geraldton between East Fremantle and Peel Thunder, which promises to be a beauty as well. Ball one out of the centre, goes the way once again of Dion Anthony. Has the ball on the string at the moment, gets it up towards Ben Saunders, but once again, a good clearing play there from the Rovers player and Jamie Gear. He gets it up towards the centre of the ground, but once again, Railways are able to regroup through Scriven. Scriven gets it up towards half forward, finds a teammate as Railways run towards goal there through Jamie Huggins. Huggins' kick is a poor one under pressure and it goes the way of Simpson. Whistle on play, and the ball eventually comes back to the Rovers player who gets it up the ground to half back where he finds a hard running player in Tazewell. Tazewell gets it up towards Thurston, then Tazewell goes back and takes a very strong mark, running with the flight of the ball on centre wing just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box. Ball comes forward, goes the way of the young Rovers player there, running hard to get the ball forward, and whistle on play, and umpire Randall Starling will come and throw the ball up on half forward.
I think it's Randall's second year as a senior umpire. Good to see. The ball going forward now into the half-forward area for Rovers. They are steadily falling behind in this quarter, but free kick will go the way of Railways. A high tackle by Kobe Simpson. The ball goes forward as a player is slung to the ground. A Rovers player is slung to the ground, so the ball may come back. The player is being spoken to and more. He slung that player to the ground, and the player's still on the ground getting up now, but it looks like it could be a reverse free kick. So Rovers now, and it is Farron Parfitt.
He hasn't got many of them in his life.
No. So Farron Parfitt will have a shot on goal. He's about 40 metres out, Glenn, and on a slight angle, kicking toward the city end of Greenough Oval. The captain, he's already got a goal this afternoon. Let's see what he can do. Pretty good off the boot, straight through the middle, and that indiscretion by Railways has resulted in a goal for the Demons, and they have crept ever closer to Railways, who still hold a slender lead of some 3 points here on a Drennan O'Malley game day. Yeah,
you can't afford to give away free kicks like that, and Railways pay the ultimate penalty pretty well these days. Every time you give away a free kick or a 50-metre, it'll invariably cost you a goal, and Farron Parfitt's a very, very talented player, and he made sure he made Railways pay, and he did. So it's important to see the score now on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Rovers needed that one. Rovers 3-3-21. They trail Railways 4 goals straight, 24. So as we thought, a really good contest here in our match of the day. Drennan O'Malley Motors game day on Community Bank first term, and we'll see the ball back in the centre. So another goal for the Rovers side and a second goal for Farron Parfitt in this quarter. Ball back in the centre. Umpire Osborne puts it into the air, and once again Ryan Letessia's there, the big man for Railways, kicks it out towards the outer side. Looking out there for Jack Connell, finds that player. Connell plays on quickly, gets it up towards half forward. Looking up there for the ball running through again is Jack Connell. He gets it up towards half forward. Rovers go in, put good pressure on. Ball comes out towards Simpson. That's time it is Bo Simpson. Bo Simpson puts it on his left boot. Ball eventually comes back to Gear. Gear for Rovers in defence, kicks it up towards the centre of the ground. Letessi is there. He's tackled, thrown to the ground. It comes out towards Dion Anthony. He goes by hand to Jesse Adamini. Adamini from 45 metres shoots towards goal. Off hands. Good bit of play there from the defender in Bo Simpson for Rovers. So Railways get their first minus score. We're into time on now in this first term on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Railways are 4-1-25. They lead Rovers 3-3-21 as the ball comes back into play now, and the Rovers player there, and Stewie Egan kicks it right back up towards the boundary line on the Hallwood Road side. Breeze blowing across the ground, but probably favouring the city end, if any end, but it's more across the ground than anywhere at the moment. And the boundary umpire will throw the ball back into play.
In the middle, we've got a bit of a competition. Dion Anthony, Chris Scott. That could be two very prominent players in the Great Northern Football League up against each other. At the moment, we'd say that Anthony has taken the ascendancy, but Scott will fight back, that's for sure. The ball coming inboard now, looking for Adamini. He can't take the mark. Bo Simpson right on his hammer. The ball goes to ground, but able to collect it on that occasion is Anthony. But handball straight to Simpson. Simpson to the half-back line. Gives it to that player in Scott. He puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area now for the Demons. On the Hallwood Road side or into the pocket it goes on that side of the ground. Socket forward by the Demons. Can they get some traction here as the ball goes toward the boundary? No one can get purchase of the piece of leather. It goes toward the boundary, coming back the way of Railways now. They send it inboard, but a couple of players, including Bo Simpson, move in. In fact, it's Kobe Simpson. He moves in. That sends the ball forward, but it's picked up by Anthony once again. Puts it onto his boot, into the middle of the ground for Railways. The player is quickly brought to ground. That's a great tackle, and a free kick will go the way of the Demons player. Chris Scott put on a beautiful tackle there, Glenn. He made sure that his player hit the deck as though he was on a pillow, Glenn, and that's what you're supposed to do these days.
Put him down very gently, which is nice to see. That's the way we like
Chris Scott in the middle. Nice handball. Can they set something up here, the Demons, and have a lead going into the quarter time break? But that kick was straight down the middle and straight down the throat of the defender for Railways. Moore puts it onto his boot, sends it back down the corridor. The ball on the half-back line, still with the Demons, coming across to Adamini. Adamini keen to move on and have a good game this afternoon. Gets it to a teammate who gets it back now. Goes the way of Henry Anderson. I liked his game to this point. Sends it into the full forward area. And it's taken by Ho-Hum. Looks like so Dion Anthony moving down to the forward area. Out of the middle. Seems to be doing a lot of work this afternoon. A very talented footballer. As I've mentioned, his brother Liam played for North Melbourne. Dion probably could have gone to those heights, but maybe not as committed as Liam. So the ball coming in now from Dion inside the forward 50, kicking toward the airport end. This will be his third goal if he nails this one. And he does, straight through the middle. That's another goal to Railways. And that sees them go further ahead on the scoreboard. Railways 5-1. They lead Rovers 3-3. And this is Drennan O'Malley game day.
Yes, Rovers are doing okay, but Railways are doing better because Railways showing good system, winning the ball out of the midfield, winning the ball forward, and already Dion Anthony, who's working well in the midfield, running deep into attack, kicked 3 goals for the quarter, so you can't ask more for that, and a really good performance from Dion Anthony with those 3 goals. Ball to be returned to the centre. We'll go around the grounds a little bit later on and tell you, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton, what the scores are at other games. Other games today at GBSC Sports Park. Brigades are hosting Towns. And the big game up at Mullawa today, Mullawa hosting the leading league getters at the moment, Northampton. And that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Ball back in the middle now. Umpire Starling throws the ball up on umpire appreciation round this afternoon. The ball out of the middle. Adamini again. Sends it straight down the middle, but the mark is taken by the Rovers defender on the half-back line. Rovers now, they need to spread out a little. They do so. The ball comes inboard to the outer side. Playing on down there, the player is quickly collected. The ball spills free. No one has purchase of it. Goes back the way now of a Demon. Going back the way now of Kyan Townsend. The youngster sends it to the outer side. Put his teammate under pressure. He loses possession. The ball back the way now of Railways into the half-forward area. Below the windsock on the Hallwood Road side, it bounces one way then the other and then over the boundary. About to be thrown in. Railways possibly going into the first term with a handy 10-point lead, Glenn, but it has been a fierce battle.
It's been a very entertaining first term of football, with thanks to Community Bank Geraldton on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Great day for footy. The weather is pretty good at the moment. Bit of rain earlier this morning. The sun is shining now. Ben Saunders for Railways feeds a handball out towards the player there in Jack Connell. His kick is a poor one, cut off by the big ruckman for Rovers and Tazewell. He kicks the ball back, but he kicks out Jesse Adamini for Railways. So Adamini plays on from centre wing, kicks it up towards half forward and picks out a teammate there. And there's the siren. It's quarter time at the football. Drennan O'Malley Motors game day, and a really good contest here at Greenough Oval. If you're looking for something to do this afternoon, head on out to Greenough Oval and you won't be disappointed. Railways and Rovers, two sides hoping and expecting to play in the finals this year, and they're showing how good they are this afternoon. And at quarter time, Railways hold a handy 10-point lead on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Railways are 5-1-31, Rovers are 3-3-21, and you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Greenough O'Malley Motors GNFL Game Day is presented by Laura Dalton, the member for Geraldton.
By our great sponsors, the City of Greater Geraldton, working with sporting groups and families to make our lifestyle even better. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
You're listening to Radio Mama, 100.5 FM through Geraldton, 102.9 FM through Carnarvon, 95.7 FM through Mullawall, 97.7 FM through Mount Magnet, 98.3 FM through Meeka FM in Meekatharra, and 98.9 FM through Walloona. You can also listen live anywhere to Radio Mama by visiting our website www.mama.net.au. Stay tuned for some more deadly music here on Radio Mama.
Our Greenough O'Malley Motors GNFL Game Day is brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton, who have been serving the community for over 13 years. On your home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back. Greenough O'Malley Motors Game Day on Radio Mama. We're the home of GNFL footy. Quarter time at the football. Glenn Barton and Peter Forenza. Hope your Saturday afternoon is a good one. And you're coming live from Greenough Oval with Rovers doing the job against Railways today, but Railways lead at quarter time, this round 3 encounter for Active West Real Estate. And looking at the quarter time scores, it is Railways 5-1-31. They lead Rovers 3-3-21, a 10-point margin in favour of the Blues. Quarter by quarter summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. And at quarter time, Railways, Dion Anthony has 3, Dion Drage has 1, Ben Saunders has 1. While Rovers goal scorers, and we have Kobe Simpson has 1 and Farron Parfitt has 2. So that's where we are, and our contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Peter, you're looking after the better players for Railways. Who did you like in that quarter?
And just incidentally, Glenn, catching up with MLA Lara Dalton tomorrow, Forenza on Sunday, just before she goes to see her mum to talk about the state budget and what the Midwest gets on the back end of that. Dion Anthony, Jesse Adamini and Henry Anderson, top 3 for Railways in their last quarter.
Looking at Rovers, a lot to like about Josh Simpson. His game is a good one. Farron Parfitt, like the way he's going about his work. He's always an exciting player. And also doing well is the young man, the ruckman, who Blake Tazewell and Chris Scott. It'll be an interesting second quarter. We're underway now in this second quarter. Radio Mama's game of the day as Josh Simpson, as if written by script, breaks out of the centre, breaks around a tackle, kicks the ball after bouncing it, shoots towards goal, and he's hit the post. So that's disappointing for him. A great start to Rovers, but couldn't get the score on the board, but a good effort there from Josh Simpson. Railways rebound. Railways player slips over at the crucial stage, unfortunately, and he's caught in possession. He didn't have any luck. He ran towards running out of defence, which was a bit of bad luck. He slipped over at the crucial
Clay
stage.
Azevedo clamped hands on him pretty quickly, Len.
So Clay Azevedo, who's a noted goal scorer, good young player. He's only 25 metres out on a 35-degree angle, and Azevedo will shoot on goal, and maybe he'll get the one that Josh Simpson believes he shot just a moment ago. And we'll wait on the kick from Clay Azevedo. Looks pretty good off the boot, but not good enough. 1 point only, so a few wasted opportunities for Rovers on the scoreboard now. Chapman Road Dental Clinic, Rovers are 3 goals 5, 23. Railways 5-1, 31. So Rovers have had 8 scoring shots to Railways, some 6 scoring shots, but the margin is still 8 points.
Certainly is, Glenn. 10-point margin at quarter time in favour of the Blues. Rovers were the first to score, first blood. Good play in the middle from JJ Clune medalist Chris Scott, but Dion Anthony has pulled him closer to himself in the latter stages of the quarter. He's been one of the major players for Railways. The ball on the half-back line now. It is with Railways, who are looking for options up front into the middle of the ground. It does find possession there. The ball goes to ground. Players diving on top of it. Dylan Curley tries to collect the ball. He's unlucky, but it goes the way of Rovers. The bounce is kind for the Demons. Going back the way now on the half-back line. It's picked up by Egan. Egan sends it the way of Drummond. Drummond has a couple of beat. He goes to ground, almost loses possession, but the ball speed. Railways outside the pack. Collected up now. It goes forward from Priolo. Priolo in turn gets it to a teammate. Goes away of Anthony. Looks like he's got off the Sunday with boot, sends it down the line and finds the chest on this occasion of the Railways player in Michael McConnell. The ruckman in McConnell sends it into the half-forward area now. Can they set something up? Kicking into a silhouette at the moment. They do shoot on goal, but on this occasion it is inaccurate and through for the minor score. So both teams keen to get a quick start in the second term, Glenn, with the ball going both ends of the ground.
Yes, an interesting scoreline out there at GBSC Sports Park. Quarter time in the game out there, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Quarter time, Brigades have had a 10-goal quarter. Brigades 10-4, 64. Lead Towns 1 goal straight 6. Ball is a lot closer here. The game is a lot closer here as Rovers win the ball out of defence. Get it up towards centre wing, Horwood roadside. But once again, Railways have the numbers. And Railways player there gets the ball forward, but only as far as Rovers' defence. Umpire says play on. Ball eventually comes out to Ben Saunders, enjoying him playing in a key role this morning or this afternoon. Umpire lets it play, eventually comes out. Railways again grab it through Jordan Williamson, who shoots towards goal, but Jordan's offline on this occasion. Ball goes out of bounds on the full, and Rovers have the opportunity to bring the ball back into play. Early stages of this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Jurak, and it's a nice, tight 9-point ball game in favour of Railways. Rovers have the ball deep in their forward, or Railways have it deep in the forward pocket near the Rover club rooms. Pack around the ball, picked up by Railways again, and Railways quickly get the ball forward through Drew Tunbridge. Goes as far as the Rovers player, who's caught in possession, and the free kick will go the way of Dion Anthony. His tackling is good. It shows he's played at a higher level, Peter. He continually tackles. The Rovers player was caught in possession, so an opportunity now and another shot on goal coming the way of Dion Anthony. So Dion Anthony, the line up for goal. He's kicked 3. He's 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Can he get his 4th? Yes, he can. Goal umpire signals all clear. Dion Anthony gets his 4th of the afternoon. Railways get their 6th. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Railways go to 6 goals 2, 38. Rovers 3 goals 5, 23. And Dion Anthony putting on a bit of a clinic this afternoon. He's tackling hard and deserves all the opportunities he gets. And that was a good tackle, but a good finish, and that's what Dion Anthony does.
Good man to have in the competition. A PE specialist at St Francis Xavier Primary, Glenn. And he certainly is having an impact on the community, not just the local community, but also the football community as well. Dion Anthony scoring his 4th goal of the afternoon on the early stages of the second term. I think he'll be getting clean medal votes this year. in 2 games at least. I know this game is still going, but Dion Anthony is certainly starring the ball up into the middle now. Comes off a Rovers player into the half-forward area. Goes the way now. Vazavado puts it onto his boot. Sends it into the half-forward area. Players go down. The ball is slapped to the ground. No one can get possession. The ball spills free now just outside the centre square. Players diving on top of it. Goes the way of the little speedster in Sean Brennan. Tries to get it to a teammate. He's curtailed in his efforts. Inside the corridor it goes. The Rovers player is quickly set upon. Had no prior opportunity, according to the umpire. The ball will be bounced up or thrown up just outside the centre square at the, favouring the airport end. The ball going forward now for the Demons. Another goal here would be important, you would think, for Coach Ian Comben. They need to stay in touch. Another goal to Railways might sort of see things slip away from the Demons in this second quarter. They're bottling it up just outside their forward 50. The ball about to be thrown up once again. So pretty tight affair here. Rovers and Railways are 2 oldest clubs in the GNFL going at it this afternoon. The ball coming out of the pack goes away of a Rovers player who's tripped, I thought, when he went to ground. The umpire wasn't close enough to see anything, I don't think. So the ball will be thrown up once again. That player that I thought was tripped on that occasion was Josh Simpson. Josh Simpson has to work a bit harder for kicks, I believe. The ball in the middle now needs to knock it down to ground. Players diving on top of it. The ball in the half-forward area. It's picked up by the Rovers player again. But he finds the boundary a little bit too quickly, and the ball will be thrown in. So at the airport end, the scoreboard, if you've just joined us, it is Railway 6-2-38. Lead Rovers 3-5-23, scoring a goal early into the second term. Dion Anthony, the custodian of that particular goal, and they led by some 10 points at quarter time.
As Jesse Adamini grabs the ball off half back, kicks it up towards centre wing, ball bounces towards the boundary line. In fact, it goes out of bounds on the full, on the centre wing, on the Hallwood Road side. Goes the way now of Stuart Egan. Stuart Egan brings the ball in, now playing for Rovers, but he's picked out a Railways player, and the Railways defender will be able to clear up, and he does it pretty well. Does Drew Tunbridge. Gets it up towards the player there in young Damien King. Damien King for the Blues, kicks it forward, but only as far as Rovers' Stuart Egan. So Egan gets the ball back from half back, kicks it up towards Simpson. Kobe Simpson gets knocked out of it. Goes back to Tunbridge. Drew Tunbridge goes by hand to the player there in Kimberley. Kimberley goes by hand, looking there for the hard-running Corey Clark. Clark puts it on his left boot, kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for some movement. Ball goes very close to the boundary line. Umpire says now it's out of bounds, and there'll be a boundary throw-in about 30 metres around from the left point post at the city end of the ground. Greenough Shire Council end of the ground, which is almost demolished now. Time ticking by in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Almost 9 minutes gone in this second term. We'll quickly bring you a score from the game at Mullawa in just a moment when we get a break. And the umpire has made a decision to throw the ball up about 30 metres around in front of goal. So umpire Starling to throw the ball into the air again. So at this stage, it's a good handy lead to Railways. Ball comes forward. Railways didn't make the best of that, and it's cut off there by Chris Scott, the player there, the captain for the Rovers side. Gets it up towards the hard-running player who gets it further forward, but Rovers mucked up because Railways are back on the rebound now. Awkward kick there from Kimberley. Puts that player under pressure in the new player in King. Ball still running free. Not pretty football from Railways on that occasion. They could have done better. And Josh Simpson has the ball on half back. So Josh Simpson told to play on now and eventually feeds it out to Curley. Dylan Curley back towards Simpson. So now it's Rovers' turn to muck around with the ball and get himself into trouble. Ball comes the way of Rovers' player there in Sean Brennan. But eventually it comes back to Dylan Curley. So Rovers do what they perhaps should have done a moment ago. Kick the ball long out towards the outer side. Ball very close to Delton Jones, but it goes out of bounds. Quickly around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Quarter time in the game up at Mullawa. Northampton kicking with a strong breeze. 3-8-26 lead Mullawa, 1 goal straight. And out at GBSC Sports Park, it is Brigades at quarter time. 10-4-64. Towns a 1 goal straight 6.
Railways kicking toward the airport end in this particular quarter. Or Rovers, I should say, as the ball goes down the middle of the ground from Brennan. Brennan for the Demons, sends it toward Drummond. Drummond is able to collect the ball, goes to ground, players diving on top of it. One of those is Parfitt. Parfitt wearing the long sleeves, unable to collect the football. The ball goes to ground, players dive on top of it. In fact, it's Kobe Simpson who dived on top of the ball on that occasion. I think he may be getting a free kick. He is. So Kobe Simpson just outside the centre square. We'll try and bomb this one up into the goal square. The breeze not a factor here this afternoon, going slightly across the ground. As Kobe Simpson sends it toward the airport NG. It is a big kick, but it will have the distance but not the accuracy. Comes off hands, bounces down in front of the goals. And what have we done? Have we socked through a goal for the Ravens?
No, players caught in possession. A Railways player dropped the ball while in possession, and Rovers will be rewarded. Rovers will shoot on goal from point-blank range.
So it is the player to go forward is Delton Jones, and Delton Jones scores a much-needed goal for the Demons. A bit of a drought since their last goal, and that is their fourth of the afternoon. Rovers go to 4 goals, 5. They trail Railway 6-2, thanks to Chapman Road Dental Clinic.
Yes, well, Delton certainly needed to draw that one up for Rovers, because we've seen Railways kick, a fair majority of the last few goals. It has been Dion Anthony kicked the first goal of this quarter. He kicked the last goal of the last quarter, and Railways kicked 4 of the last 5 goals.
And we've seen Kobe Simpson play a lot of defence. Maybe he's found a new lease of life playing in the forward line, because he's got a few possessions in that area today.
Well, the guys certainly light up, but I've been impressed too. A change is as good as a holiday. A lot of players have spent a lot of time in defence. It gives them an opportunity, and everyone likes kicking goals, and Kobe's no different, but it's good to see him working hard there. But a good bit of play from the young player in Delton Jones, got a much-needed goal.
Josh Simpson probably the biggest possession getter on the park at the moment.
That's right. 13 minutes gone, but once again, Dion Anthony wins the ball out of the centre for Railways, kicks it up towards Railways forward line, but once again, Rovers' Stuart Egan cuts the ball off, kicks the ball across the face of goal, maybe a little bit dangerous, and a good pressure put on by the Rovers defenders there, but Railways have the ball directly in front of their goal, only 30 metres out. Umpire Starling to put the ball into the air. Ben Saunders goes up, but the Rovers ruckman gets the best of it. Railways get the ball to boot, and it goes very close to goals, only 15, 20 metres from goal now. Opportunity now through Dion Anthony. Can he get goal number 5? It's a magic kick. He's hit the post. So bad luck to Dion. It was a pretty good effort. Screwed the ball around from about 40 metres out and just missed. So 1 point only on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Railways are 6 goals, 4, 39. They lead Rovers 4-5, 29. So a 10-point ball game. Ball comes back into play, but once again, it's the Rovers defenders standing firm, and a good mark taken there by Tristan Simpson. Tristan Simpson, that's the player who's getting a lot of the ball against his old club, but Tristan playing up in defence.
Tristan and Bo looking like twins back
there. They
are.
It's very hard to pick up. I think they're cousins.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but Tristan, it's unusual to see him in a Rovers jumper. We've seen him in a Railways jumper for a fair period of time now. Ball comes forward, goes the way now of Dylan Curley, who has the ball on centre wing, Horwood roadside. So Dylan Curley plays on, gets the kick up towards half forward.
Oh,
Rovers player almost interfered. The umpire said, no, nothing in that. Parfitt does well, brings it across the ground, picks out young Sean Brennan. Sean Brennan breaks across the 50-metre line, shoots towards goal, but he got the wrong bounce. As it went towards goal, it took a left-hand break and through for a minor score. So Rovers having plenty of opportunity on the scoreboard, a lot of scoring shots. Rovers 4-6-20, 4-6-30, trail Railways 39. So it's 10 scoring shots to 9, but they trail by those 9 points as Railways bring the ball out of defence, make hard work of it, go the way of Ryan Latessa. Yep, ball taken from the hands, picked up by Sean Brennan, goes in short with a pass to Jai Thurston. Jai Thurston, well known for his softball and baseball.
And these boys playing a lot of Colts footy together, Glenn?
That's right. So Jai Thurston is 35 to 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. So Rovers desperately need one. They've had plenty of the ball, but haven't been getting the score on the board. Railways have been more accurate around goal. And as we always say, poor kicking is poor footy. So let's see how young Jai goes. Just a little bit of a hip and a scoop, and he's offline. Ball goes through for a minus score. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, it is Rovers 4-7, 31. A trail Railway 6-3, 30 to the margin in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack.
Hello, Melissa will be listening in this afternoon, no doubt. Things are going well for you. You know, she makes the best prawn bisque, I think you call it, Glenn. Bisque, prawn bisque, prawn soup that she puts together. It's her signature dish. That's Melissa Price.
Very good.
The ball in the middle now going the way of Anthony. Dion Anthony does a bit of do-si-do, spins around, puts it onto his boot, comes out to play there in Kimberley. Kimberley just in front of broadcast position for Radio Mama. Sends it inboard, finds Anthony again. Dion Anthony. Has it on a string here this afternoon. Nice handball. Sends it inboard. The teammate obliges, puts it onto his boot and finds Saunders, the Chester Saunders, with his socks up just outside the forward 50. Saunders puts a big kick down the corridor. Up they go. The Rovers player tries to take the mark. A couple of Rovers players there. No Railways players in sight. The ball is quickly mopped up and they get out of danger. The ball on the far side. Brennan, he's been in everything this afternoon for the Red and Blacks. He kicks toward the boundary. Rovers still have possession now as they send it forward. Starting to probably get ascendancy a little here this afternoon, the Demons. They lost it around the quarter time mark. They trail on the scoreboard but have had more shots at goal, meaning they've had in their forward 50 a little bit more often. The ball into the half-forward area now goes the way of Farron Parfitt. I've liked his game again this afternoon. Very clever player is the captain for the Demons as the ball goes to ground. A bit of a stacks on the mill and the ball will be thrown up on the Hallwood Road side of the ground and it's just forward of the centre square.
Yes, so the umpire throw the ball into the air. Good crowd here at Greenough Oval this afternoon for our Drenon O'Malley Motors game day. And everyone's turned out in numbers to enjoy this game as Railways and Rovers try to assert their authority. Both sides have had a lot of the ball and probably haven't got value for errors on this occasion. But Railways have been doing well because Dion Anthony has been so efficient around goal. He's kicked 4 goals and almost kicked his 5th a few moments ago with a beauty. Ball is out of bounds. Boundary throw in. Hallwood Road side, and the boundary umpire puts the ball back into play. The ruckmen go at it, and it goes the way of Rovers through Scott. Chris Scott feeds the handball out, looking for the run of a teammate. Once again, it's pretty slippery out there, although it hasn't rained for a long time. The oval is a little bit slippery. Players losing their feet under pressure. In goes Chris Scott again, has the ball held to him, and umpire Pratt will come and throw the ball up once again. Umpires this afternoon, umpires Stephen Pratt, Randall Starling, and Kevin Osborne, experienced umpires, doing the job for the GNFL in this round 3 encounter for Active West Real Estate.
Railways tending to curtail the efforts of Chris Scott, the reigning JJ Clue medalist to this term. He started off like a German band, but it's been held somewhat. Coming off the half-back line now, the ball in the half-forward area for Rovers, but they're being thwarted in their attempts to go forward. The Railways defence working overtime as it goes toward the Hallwood Road side of the ground. Rovers have it again as they go forward through Azevedo. Like him, he's a great little player. Puts it onto his boot. A beautiful lace-out kick and finds Farron Parfitt. So Farron Parfitt on a reasonable angle, about a 45-degree angle. He's not going to back himself, though. He's going to go for the snap. Straight in toward the goal square it goes. Players setting themselves up. They go. The ball comes down. The Railways custodian drives on top of it. Rovers are there to try and make something out of nothing. A player is quickly dragged to ground. And the umpire says, boys, no one had any purchase on that. And we'll throw it up right in front. In the shadows of the goals at the Rovers' end.
Yes, so the ball will be coming back into play. And thrown up. Only metres away from the goal square. Can Rovers get a score while they have it deep in their attacking zone? Rovers player met solidly, but goes back in. Azevedo screws the ball forward, looking there for Josh Simpson, who was running with the flight of the ball, but the ball is cleverly knocked through by the Railways defence, or in fact it knocked over the boundary line. And I thought it was going to go through the goals, but it didn't. It went straight out of bounds.
Good fortune for Rovers there.
It was. So Rovers have another opportunity. Can they get a score? Well, they have it deep in their forward 50, only metres from goal. MJ McConnell grabs the ball for Railways, almost caught in possession. In goes the other Railways player, feeds it out, only as far as Chris Scott. Chris Scott getting a lot of attention this afternoon. You're dead right there, Peter. He hasn't been able to get too much room. And the player doing the job on Chris Scott at the moment is doing a pretty good job. So well done to him. So the ball is still 45 metres from goal. The umpire throws it up once again. And Railways and Rovers go at each other hard. And once again, a big pack develops. An umpire has no option but to come in and bounce the ball down. Time ticking by in this second quarter. The Melissa Price quarter on Radio Mama. and we've played 20 minutes. So we're into time on, and it's a really tight ball game. 8 points the difference.
Yeah, Railways bottling it up in Rover's half-forward area. The Demons, another goal here would really open it up a little bit. Goes away with Williamson for the Blues. Williamson gets it out into space. Rovers are there. Williamson backs it up. He gets the ball, sends it down the line. It is Brennan who almost takes the mark as it ricochets off the ground into his chest. The umpire says no one had prior opportunity once again, and the ball will be thrown up. Umpire Starling officiating this afternoon with Osborne and Pratt, doing a pretty good job in this very entertaining game. Up they go on that occasion. Railways knock it down, going the way now of Kobe Simpson onto his boot. Is it going to go out on the full? No, it just stays in. Comes away now of Farron Parfitt. He tries to keep it in the white lines, but it's taken over. Carried over in a tackle, and the ball will be thrown in just below the scoreboard, which reads Rovers 4-7-31, trailing Railways 6-3-39.
On this Umpires Appreciation Weekend, the ball comes back into play from the boundary umpire. In goes Railways, under pressure. The ball is held to that player there in Blake Stanton. And the umpire says, give it to me, boys. I'll throw it up. Umpire Pratt will throw it up again. So the ball has been quite hard to get moving, particularly in the last 5 minutes or so. Both sides tightening right up. Not pretty footy. It's a bit of a rugby scrum, but Rovers quickly grabbed the ball, shoot towards goal, almost a goal. It was only about a metre short. Rovers trying to get it through, but Railways defence do well. Slap the ball through for a force behind, and a good bit of play from defensive player there from Elliot Delaney, who, as we know, is generally a forward, but he's been given a new lease of life. He's playing in defence for the Blues at the moment. There goes Elliot Delaney, the player for Railways who generally kicks goals, but he's up the other end. Ball comes the way of Railways. They have it on centre wing. Good pace there from that Railways player, putting good run on the ball, trying to get the ball moving. Ball is on the outer side, Hallwood Road side. Railways are going to the city end in this second term. The Melissa Price Quarter on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL Foot Week. And we've still got a 7-point ball game in favour of the Blues, Railways. And there'll be once again another throw up right on the boundary line. So the umpire to throw the ball up. The big fellas get there. And it's taken now by Ryan Letessia across the boundary line. Pack develops once again. Umpire has no option but to come in and throw the ball up. And there's been no shortage of throw-ups this afternoon, Peter.
No, there certainly hasn't, Glenn. And it's found the boundary quite a bit as well. The ball coming in now, just in front of the Rovers club rooms on the Hallwood Road side of the ground. A bit of a group of players diving on top of each other. Very tight. Still very tight here in the latter stages of the first half. And it is, as we mentioned, just 7 points the difference as the siren sounds to announce that it is half-time in Adrenaline O'Malley game day. And at half-time here at Greenough Oval, it is Railways 6-3-39. They lead Rovers 4-8-32. And you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is Radio Mama.
Our Greenough O'Malley Motors game day is supported by our sponsors, Skeeter's Restaurant and Cafe. Not only the best coffee, the best views and great weekly specials. Skeeter's Restaurant and Cafe on the Marina, Geraldton. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL Football Radio.
good afternoon. Welcome back. Half-time at the football, Greenough O'Malley Motors game day. And you're on the home of GNFL Footy Radio. Mama, Glenn Barnden and Peter Forenza with you this afternoon. And we're coming live from the Greenough Oval with Rovers hosting Railways, the round 3 encounter for Active West Real Estate. As we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Game being played up at Mullawa today. Mullawa hosting Northampton. And at half-time, Northampton 7-11-53, lead Mullawa 2-1-13. So a pretty handy 40-point lead there to the Rams, who sit on top of the premiership table as we head into the third round. And at GBSC Sports Park, it is Brigades hosting Towns, and at half-time, Brigades 14-3, 87 lead Towns 2-2-14. And in our big Greenough O'Malley Motors game day here at Greenough Oval this afternoon, at half-time, it is Rovers 4-8-32, and they trail Railways 6-3-39. So a 7-point margin in favour of Railways, and the Railways led by 10 points at quarter time. They now lead by 7 points at half time. Interesting second quarter. Rovers kicked 1 goal 5, Railways kicked 1 goal 2, so a low scoring encounter, and Rovers perhaps wasted a couple of opportunities there. Our half-time summary, as I mentioned, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Let me run through the goal scorers. Railways, Dion Anthony has been a star with 4 goals. Dion Drage 1, Ben Saunders 1. For Rovers, their goal scorers, Farron Parker 2, Kobe Simpson 1, Delton Jones 1. And of course our contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Peter, you're looking after the Railways, looking after Rovers better players today. Who have you liked?
I think you've got me to look after Railways.
Okay, you look after Railways.
Yep, okay. So we've got Dion Anthony, Elliot Delaney in defence, Jesse Adamini, and I thought George Williamson sort of came to the top of the pile in that particular quarter.
Yes, done better for Rovers. I don't think that Josh Simpson. Josh is doing really well. He's an exciting player. You pay your $10 to come and see Josh play every week. Good to see him in good form and running hard. Also, Farron Parford, he's a very exciting player, and he's kicked a couple of very good goals. Young Sean Brennan has been very, very good. Kobe Simpson is a very, very key player, and he's playing up forward as well. Played a lot of his games in defence. And another player I've liked is Blake Caswell. A big rap for young Blake. He's a good young ruckman, and I like the way he plays his footy. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the second half. If we're right, Peter, we would expect Railways to be able to run the game out. I would expect Railways to be a little bit fitter and have a little bit more system than Rovers. But as we've seen, Rovers have had some 12 scoring shots to Railways 9. So if Rovers had been more efficient, more accurate around goal, that could be a different scoreline. But I still think Railways should have the run, but they're under a fair bit of pressure today, and it'll be an entertaining third quarter. We call it the Premiership quarter. We also call it the Greenough O'Malley Motors quarter in round 3 of this GNFL Premiership season. And it is Umpires Appreciation Weekend, as Kevin Osborne, one of the senior umpires, holds the ball aloft. Kevin is umpiring with Randall Starling and Stephen Pratt. Aussie puts the ball into the air, and Railways get the best of it through MJ McConnell, but he knocks it straight down towards the player there, Josh Simpson. He goes by hand, looking out there for a teammate in Bo Simpson. Ball comes to ground, picked up by Jesse Adamini. Adamini gets it back to the player there, and Damien King. And whistle on play, a free kick's been picked out, and it'll go the way of Rovers. And Rovers' Chris Scott breaks through the centre now, takes the ball, 1 bounce, 2 bounces, kicks it from centre, kicks it towards half forward, where he's picked out the hard-running Rovers player there in Kyron Townsend. Townsend turns around, kicks it up towards full forward, looking again for Parfitt. Ball running free, deep in the left forward pocket. Parfitt feeds it out to Curley. Curley gets a kick forward, looking again for Townsend. Townsend couldn't mark the ball. Railways defender under pressure. Ball running free again. Umpire letting it come out. A whistle on play. And umpire Starling's picked out a free kick. And Kobe Simpson, held with not in possession, and Kobe Simpson will shoot on goal now from 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Almost the exact spot that he scored his goal in the first term, Glenn.
Well, this will be a very important kick. Kobe could give his side a really good opportunity here in the first minute of this term, and a very important kick.
Straight across the face of goal.
So Kobe kicking like a defender, kicks the ball out of bounds on the full, and Ian Commodore saying, well, you might have to go back into defence shortly.
He has got a goal on the board, though, is Kobe, and he has figured predominantly in the forward line in this particular game, and a goal there would have been timely for the Demons early in the third term, second quarter. The ball coming out of defence now for Railway, struggling to get it out. Players diving on top of the ball. Simpson in it again. He's working hard too. So too Tyrone Townsend for the Demons. The ball goes further afield, goes way of Egan. He's unable to collect it. Goes back the way now of the player there in Henry Anderson. Had a first good term. He sends it down the corridor. Players setting themselves. In go a couple of players. Adamini's one of those. He can't take possession of the ball. The ball spills free. Goes back the way of the Rovers defenders. They can come out through Tazwell now. But a handball is errant. It goes straight down the middle and straight down the throat of the Railways defender. Coming out to Williamson now. Williamson through the Blues under pressure. Kicks into the half-forward area. It was a well-timed kick. Guess what? It's been taken by Dion. And no, it's been taken by James Huggins, I should say. So James Huggins is just outside the forward 50. Probably a little bit of an ask for Huggins to get that distance, one would think. But he could prove me wrong. Right behind him here in our commentary box for Radio Mama, home of GNFL football. That's a nice kick by Huggins, but straight across the face of goal and bounces through for the minor score. So Railway scoreboard continues to tick away or turn over. They go to 6 goals 4, I think it is, and they lead Rovers 4 goals 9.
Yeah, 40 plays 33, 7-point ball game as Rovers bring the ball back into play from defence. Pick it out the way of Bo Simpson. Bo Simpson puts it on his left boot and kicks out a teammate there. And
Sean Brennan,
who was really good in the first half. This is the third quarter, the premiership quarter for Drennan O'Malley Motors, as we see Rovers have the ball on half back, getting up the ground. But once again, Dion Anthony stands his ground. And he's quite a strong, sizable player, Dion. Plays on with a short pass, picks out Jamie Huggins. Bare 15 metres. And a good bit of play as Anthony goes past, receives the handball, keeps running and gets it on to a teammate. That teammate will shoot on goal now, young Jack Connell. So Jack Connell is 35 metres out, just below the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Railways lead by 7. Can Jack Connell extend the lead for another 6? There goes the kick. Right on the goal line, off hands and through for a minor score. So on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Railways are 6-5, 41. They lead Rovers 4-9, 33 as the ball comes quickly back into play. And a Rovers player has interfered with a Railways player and Jamie Huggins. So Jamie Huggins gets the free kick. But Jamie is 60 metres from goal. He centres the ball now, looking towards half forward. He finds Jesse Adamini. Adamini looking for a kick, short pass, goes the way of a teammate. In goes young Jordan Williamson. He breaks the tackle, shoots towards goal, but he's offline by a fair margin. Ball goes out of bounds on the full. Good pressure there from the Rovers defence. So Rovers Stuart Egan to bring the ball back into play. Stuart Egan with the ball now. Plays on quickly. Gets a short pass on. Finds Chris Scott. Chris Scott on half back. And Chris Scott on the Hallwood Road side. And time ticking by in this third quarter, the premiership quarter. And it is 4 minutes into this third quarter for Drennan O'Malley Motors.
Scott sends a beautiful kick inside the centre square, but it doesn't meet the intended target. There's Adamini. It's important for Railways if they do get into the finals and a premiership this year. The ball into the half-forward area. Almost it's half-forward as players dive on top of it. It's one half the other as the player goes to ground for Rovers. I thought he was tackled high. The umpire was unsighted. That's umpire Starling. Give him the benefit of the doubt. That was young Brennan that was tackled then. He's only a short customer as Brennan, but putting in a big effort this afternoon for the Demons. We saw him play a great campaign at the Country Championships for the Colts last year, Glenn. The ball coming forward now for Railways. Railways in turn find a player in Tunbridge. Tunbridge, one of the veterans in the side, sends it further afield, but this time it goes straight down the throat of a former teammate in Tristan Simpson. Simpson decides to send it back to whence it came. Curley goes up. The ruckman for Rovers, I should say, can't take the mark. The ball spills free. Kimberley's there for the Blues. But then Thurston, he picks it up, puts it onto his boot, sends it into the half-forward area. Up goes Azevedo, can't take the mark. He's got a bit of a contest on his hands. The ball spills free. It's in the shadows of the goals for Rovers. Can they do something here as the defenders for Railways try to bottle it up? And the Railways player again. Another Railways player is caught in possession, and Clay Azevedo will have a shot on goal. He's only about 20 metres out, Glenn. He's on a little bit of a severe angle, but you know these check side kicks with these youngsters, Glenn, they know what they're doing. Yeah,
Clay Azevedo, a very classy player, has an opportunity to get a very much-needed goal for the Rovers side. All goals are much needed. Very tight contest. Not a high-scoring game here at Greenough Oval. Pretty entertaining. Lots of pressure on the ball carrier as Clay Azevedo shoots on goal. Looks pretty good off the boot. Goal umpire signals all clear. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Rovers go to 5 goals 9, 39. They trail Railway 6 goals 5, 41. So a 2-point ball game. So very entertaining game here as we quickly go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. And at half-time in the game up at Mullawa, Northampton 7-11-53, lead Mullawa 2-1-13. And the game at GBSC Sports Park, Brigades 14 goals 3-87, lead Towns 2-2-14. And it's a 2-point ball game, and we've played some 7 minutes in this third quarter, the Premiership quarter, for Greenough O'Malley Motors on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Clay Azevedo has certainly been a star for the Demons since moving over from the Chapman Valley Football Club a couple of seasons ago, Glenn. He's played in a Premiership side for the Demons as well. The ball coming out of the middle at a meaning. Nice little handball, gets it to the player there in Saunders, down to Williamson now for the Blues. He quickly puts it onto his boot, his blue boot that is. Inside the corridor it goes. It bounces in front of the Rovers defender. That's Jamie Gear. He knows what he's doing. He's a great defender in his own right, goes to ground, but it's picked up by the Railways player who spins around, puts it onto his boot, but he's inaccurate on this occasion and through for the minor score. So end-to-end football here in our Drennan O'Malley game day.
So Railways are making up for a few lost opportunities. They are missing goals that they should be taking too, like Rovers have in previous quarters. So Railways have missed a couple in this term. As we see Rovers bring it out through Tristan Simpson. Tristan Simpson kicks it up towards half-back. Rovers haven't got the numbers. Railways have through Kimberley. Kimberley quickly gets it across with a short pass and picks out Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders is 60 metres from goal at centre-half forward and kicking towards the airport end of Greenough Oval. There goes the big kick from Ben Saunders. It'll drop about 20 metres short. Player is being shepherded out, so the free kick will go the way of Railways, and Railways will shoot on goal from 20 metres out directly in front. So a big call there, and the Rovers players interfering with the Railways player, and the player is Dion Anthony. So Dion Anthony adds to his tally. He'll have his 5th goal of the afternoon if he kicks this one, and make him certainly clearly one of the better players on the ground and one of the contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Dion Anthony, the former East Fremantle player, shoots on goal, looks pretty good off the boot. That's his 5th of the afternoon. Railways get their 7th. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Rovers in trouble as Railways go to 7-6-48. They trail Rovers 5-9-39.
If he plays all the games this season and plays in as the fettle that he's playing at the moment, Dion Anthony would be almost a Les Misère for the JJ Clune medal. I know it's early,
I think he's going away.
He's going away.
He's going to Europe.
That's right. You did say that, so he's going to miss a few games. So,
quite a few, I think.
There you go. So he certainly won't. Probably. Well, you never know how the voting goes, do you? So
no, you've got to get votes on the board, and he's doing that at the moment, isn't he?
He certainly is. He's a star, that's for sure. And the players that we like to come and watch here in the GNFL. So Railways have skipped away a little bit again here in our Drennan O'Malley game day. 7-6-48. They lead Rovers 5-9-39. Thank you to Chapman Road Dental Clinic. Also, thank you to Greenough O'Malley Motors, Ron, John, Rachel, and all the team. If you're looking for a used car, they're the place to go to on Chapman Road. Ron, a great supporter of local footy. You're pretty happy that his team, Collingwood, in the AFL, is doing well at the moment. They certainly are the team to watch.
And they're pretty to watch too, aren't they?
Too, and be hoping that his other side in Railway is able to emulate that in season 2023. The ball coming down the throat of this player. We're talking about Josh Simpson. He's curtailed in his efforts, as the umpire says, give it to me, boys. We'll throw it up again. Umpire Osborne officiating this afternoon. Starling and Pratt also. The ball coming out of the pack goes away now. Of a player is quickly slung to ground, but the umpire says caught in possession. And that player was the player there in Townsend. The ball on the half-back line now for Railways. Comes out, finds the chest of this young player in Jack Connell. Young Nagel student, he's only 17 years of age. Glenn puts his boot into the ball, is dealt with after he got rid of it by a player there in Scott, and there'll be a free kick down the field for the Blues.
So an opportunity again for Railways. Scott a fraction late there, and fair call there from the umpires as Ben Saunders plays on. Kicks it up towards full forward. Railways almost a good opportunity there. Players going in hard for Rovers. Eventually it comes out. Rovers defence under a fair bit of pressure. picked up there by the Railways player who throws it on his boot in Henry Anderson. But as I said, Railways getting a little bit of a run of opportunities wasted. Railways go to 7-7, 49. They lead Rovers 5-9, 39, 10 points the margin in favour of the Blues in this third quarter for Greenough O'Malley Motors on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. And we've played 9 minutes in this third term. Ball comes back into play, and a Rovers player in a bit of bother on the Hallwood Road side. We did have a very serious incident in the women's game, and all our thoughts and wishes and prayers go out to that young lady. Hope everything's going well. We have put in a call to hopefully find out her condition. The game was curtailed for about an hour while the ambulance and all the medical staff worked on her and made sure that she was in a safe position to be moved. So we do hope everything is going right for that young lady who plays for the Rovers Footy Club. Ball comes back into play, goes the way of Railways, and Railways had an opportunity, but Rovers clear it. But how long for? The ball goes towards the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw in about 60 metres around from the left point post on the Hallwood Road side of Greenough Oval. And we're in the middle stages of this term, and once again, Peter, it seems to be a regular thing, but we're about 10 points to the margin, and it's still in favour of Railways.
And that buffer has been there for the Blues for most of today's game. Can the shackles be broken by the Demons? Only time will tell as we head to the middle stages of the third term. The ball in the back line now. Nice mark there taken by Josh Simpson. He's racking up kicks this afternoon, but he miskicks it on that occasion across the face of goal, picked up by Anthony. And what has he done? Has he been able to sock it through? No. Luckily for the Demons, it only goes through for a minor score. So Josh Simpson's going to have another bite of the cherry. Can't do another stuff up like that, Joshy. The ball coming out of defence. Players setting themselves. Up they go. The mark isn't taken by the player who intended to do that in Alec Johnson. The ball spills free. Goes to ground. Railways quick to come out of the pack, or are they? Eventually comes away of Priolo. He goes one way, then the other is quickly set upon. A beautiful tackle put on Priolo. The umpire says he did get rid of it, boys. It's sent forward into the half-forward area now for the Blues. Players diving on top of the piece of leather, and the ball will be thrown up just outside the forward 50 for the Blues. So, holding sway here in our Greenough O'Malley game day. Arch rivals, Rovers and Railways, the two oldest clubs in the GNFL, going at it this afternoon. A big crowd in attendance. Good to see here at GNFL football. The ball going to ground. Williamson is there. Tries to get it away. In fact, it's Latesia with the blue boots on this occasion. Tries to get it out of the pack. But a free kick will go the way of this player in Townsend, who was called not in possession. Back to Simpson. Gee, he can kick the ball. Can that player? Out to Curley now. Curley on the fat side of the ground. Can he do something with it? He should have ran on, I thought. But he decides to sit back and wait for his opportunities. Gets it down to this player. He takes off like Usain Bolt. I'm talking about
Chris Scott.
Chris puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. Nice kick by Scott. The player almost unsighted took the mark. I think it's Thurston once again.
It is, yep.
So young Thurston, Jai Thurston. He doesn't back himself. He sees a player on his lonesome. That player is Roland Drummond. Can't take the mark. Looking into the sun. Drummond has a player to beat. They bottle it up somewhat. The mark there to Drummond would have been dangerous for the Blues. Here's a goal sneak and a half. It's the Rovers custodian. The ball just outside the forward 50. Looking to the silhouettes here at Greenough Oval this afternoon at the city end. Kimberley gets the ball for Railways. He sends it down the ground. Goes as far as Egan, though, for Rovers. Egan knocks it forward. Thurston dives on top of it once again. He's working hard, is the little youngster. He puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. Who can dive on top of it? It's both teams going at it, both at the same time. No one can get possession as both again opponents drive on top of it, and into his back, the little youngster in Brennan. He'll get a free kick. He gives it away now to Josh Simpson, and Josh Simpson is quickly bottled up. A little bit too cute on that occasion. I think Brennan should have stood back and had a kick then, Glenn, but he didn't elect to do so. The ball into the half-forward area. He goes now of Townsend. Townsend to Drummond. Drummond has a couple to beat. He does that. Gets a handball away. Only as far as his Railways opponent. Out of defence it comes now. Up into the air. It's Williamson who's at the base of the pack. Williamson for Railways, that is. He gets it to a teammate there. That teammate is Anthony. He's everywhere here this afternoon. He is going to be a great player in the GNFL competition season 2023. Rovers put it onto their boot. Send it back into the full forward area. And finally, Roland Drummond takes a mark just outside of goal. He's about 25 to 30 metres out, Glenn, and we're right behind him.
And there's a Rovers player down in a fair bit of trouble. The trainers from Railways and Rovers going to him. So the player's going over. He hasn't moved. He did move fractionally, but he hasn't been able to get up. The trainers are looking at him. So the umpire let the game flow, and a kick from Roland Drummond to shoot on goal. Roland hasn't kicked a goal today, so waiting on it. The Rovers player is getting up now, which is good news. So he must have just got the wind knocked out of him. There goes the kick from Roland Drummond. That's a beautiful kick, and he's a very capable player, is Roland Drummond. And the Rovers player is up and about, which is good. I thought there may have been something serious happened to him, but he is okay. He's probably very sore. Glenn Prosser is that player. So that is a very important goal from Roland Drummond. So Rovers keep in touch. It's still anybody's game as we head to the time-on period in this third quarter. Greenough Mallee Motors Game Day on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, it is Railways 7-8-50. They lead Rovers 6-9-45.
Same amount of shots at goal, Glenn, which is interesting. Rovers just a little bit more inaccurate. 50 plays 45, 5 points of the difference as we head to the three-quarter time break. This quarter brought to you by Greenough Mallee Motors. If you're looking for a used car, they're the people to see. Their yard is always full with glistening cars, that's for sure. It's the nicest cars in town to have a look at, and you'll find them in Chapman Road. The whistle sounds, the players not getting their positions quick enough. There is a warning from the umpire. You get one warning. So players moving now to their positions. Young Corey Clark finding his spot. The ball in the middle. Williamson playing in the middle now for Railways. Tries to get it out. Goes away with young Brennan. Gee, I've liked his game today. I think I've said that a couple of times now. Goes to ground. Picked up by Kobe Simpson. He's moving. In fact, it's Tristan Simpson who's moved into the middle of the ground now, Glenn. Goes back the way of Williamson. So players moving everywhere this afternoon. Williamson inside the corridor. Gets it to Adam Meany. A nice little kick into the full forward area. Finds the player there in Saunders. Saunders looks at the big sticks. Doesn't waste any opportunity and kicks it straight through. So a short-lived bit of a spurt by Rovers is thwarted by Railways and the veteran in Ben Saunders.
Yeah, Ben Saunders gets his second goal of the afternoon. So he's a good day out, has young Ben. And Ben enjoying himself playing up forward, playing at centre-half forward.
The socks are down now, Glenn.
Oh, he's getting a bit tired, so he can't be bothered pulling them up. But he looked pretty flash in the first half.
He did. He was unrecognisable.
He did. So there you have it. Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Railways 8-8-56. Lead Rovers 6-9-45. We're into time on now. So Railways, have they done enough in this quarter? Railways have added some 2 goals, 5 in this quarter, and Rovers have added some 2 goals, 1. So
pretty even affair, really.
It has been a good tight contest, and in the last quarter it was 1 goal, 5 Rovers, 1 goal, 2 Railways. So not a lot in it. 10 points in favour of Railways at quarter time, 7 points in favour of Railways at half time. And at this stage, it's still a 11-point ball game in favour of the Blues as we head towards three-quarter time. As Stuart Egan for Rovers gets the ball from half back, kicks it up towards centre wing, outer side, ball goes out of play, and the ball will be thrown back in on that far Hallwood Road side. So the sun is up and about. It's a pretty nice day for footy, no doubt about that. Round 3 of the GNFL season for Active West Real Estate. 3 games today, and we'll bring you up to date. Looks like Brigade's on target for a win out there at GBSC Sports Park. Northampton on target for a win up at Mullawar, but still anybody's game here at Greenough Oval in our match of the day. Greenough Mallee Motors Game Day, and the ball will be thrown up once again or thrown back in. It's on centre wing once again, so there's been a fair bit of play on the Hallwood Road side this afternoon with the wind blowing directly across the ground. Picked up now by Curley. Curley goes by hand to Chris Scott for Rovers. He kicks it forward, but only as far as the Railways defender, and Railways rebound quickly there, and the ball comes the way of Henry Anderson. He misses what he should have taken, goes back in to retrieve it. Ball comes back towards Anderson. He soccers the ball along the ground, looking out there for the hard-blooding player in Jesse Adamini, and a pack develops. Umpire Randall Starling letting it flow, and players couldn't get it out. He gave them every opportunity, and eventually umpire Starling will come in and throw the ball up. It is GNFL and AFL Umpires Appreciation Weekend, and the umpires doing a fine job this afternoon. Umpires Kevin Osborne, Randall Starling and Stephen Pratt, as we see Railways under pressure as Rovers mark it after that ball goes quickly out of the centre, goes forward and finds Kobe Kobe Simpson, and Kobe is a long way out from goal this time, and Kobe goes back as if he's going to kick it from 55 metres.
Backing himself.
Yeah, well, he didn't make the scoreboard last time. He was about 20 metres closer, but let's see how he goes. Looks pretty good off the boot. Wasn't far short. Off they go, off the hands of the Rovers. Flew high in Thurston, through for a minus score. Rovers 6:10.46 on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Trail Railways 8:56. Once again, 10-point ball game as Railways defence come out through Elliot Delaney.
This is country footy at its best at the moment, Glenn, that we're seeing two old teams in the GNFL going head-to-head in season 2023. Players diving on top of each other just outside the goal square for the Demons. A silhouette in front of us here at Greenough Oval as we face into the sun at that end of the ground, the city end. Umpire Starling doing a good job here this afternoon, along with Pratt as well, and Osborne. Ditto for both of those umpires too. The ball coming out of the pack goes the way of Kimberley, straight down the throat of Thurston. He's picked up in this particular quarter as the youngster. Thurston, as Glenn said, not his only sport, but he's not bad at it. He kicks inside the corridor. Up they go, and the mark is taken. Is it the Railways player that's going to be given the mark? No, he's into the back of the Rovers player, and another kick will go the way of Kobe Simpson. So Kobe Simpson wants another goal, Glenn, that's for sure. So he now got a lot closer. He's only about 50 to 20 metres out, directly in front. He should nail this for Demons, and Coach Ian Comben will be pretty happy if he does, because it certainly will make things quite interesting.
Well, he's been very active up there. You've got to give him credit for that. He's had a few opportunities. He's kicked one.
So about from 20 metres out, it's a bit of a flat kick, but it's a straight kick, and it's through the middle, and Kobe Simpson has put Rovers in a much better position as we head to the three-quarter time break. Rovers 7-10. They trail Railways 8-10. Thanks to Chapman Road Dental Clinic.
Yeah, so Kobe Simpson's had a really good day out. He's kicked a few points, but he's looked active up forward, and he's never stopped trying. So he's clearly amongst one of Rover's better players. There's no doubt about that. So Kobe Simpson gets his second of the day. So a really good performance now. Rovers not going to lay down. They keep working hard. You can't ask for more than that.
4-point ball game.
Yeah, 4 points the margin on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, heading towards quarter time. So Rovers, it's been a good quarter for them. So now Rovers have kicked some 3 goals 2 in this quarter, and Railways have kicked some 2 goals 5. So a very even third quarter, the premiership quarter. Still anybody's contest as we head towards three-quarter time, as umpire Pratt puts the ball into the air. So it's the big fellas go at it. Ryan Letessia, and up against the player there in Curley, but it's Rovers who win it through. Scott gets it out towards the player there in Azevedo. Azevedo gets it up towards Kobe Simpson. Railways defenders in a bit of pressure there. That's Drew Tunbridge's ball held. In fact, it's young Kimberley. No, it's not. It's neither of those. And the ball comes back and will be thrown up by umpire Osborne. Osborne gets it thrown up, goes the way of Rovers. Rovers have it deep in the Rover Football Club room pocket. And if Rovers could get a goal in the last few minutes of this quarter, what a game it would be heading into the last quarter. So the boundary umpire, throw the ball in, about 45 metres around from the right point post, city end of the ground. As I mentioned, just in front of the Rover Football Club. Good crowd in attendance this afternoon, enjoying some good footy as Railways defence, trying valiantly to get the ball out of defence. And the Railways player broke the tackle just in the nick of time. Gets a kick forward, only as far as centre wing. Rovers have an opportunity now to get the ball cleanly forward. Big kick from the Rovers player, and he kicks it up towards the teeth of goals, but the ball slapped away by the Railways defence. And well done there for Elliot Delaney. And once again, the boundary throw-in will come into play. So pretty good contest here at Greenough this afternoon.
Yeah, really enjoying it, Glenn. My first taste of GNFL football this season, and if this is anything to go by, I'm pretty excited about the season ahead. The siren sounds to announce that it is quarter time in our Drennan O'Malley game day, and at quarter time it is Railways 8-8-56. They lead Rovers by 4 points, 7-10-52, and you're listening to GNFL football here on Radio Mama, the home of football.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsor GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back. Beautiful day for football. Round 3 of the GNFL Premiership season for Active West Real Estate today. You're tuned to Greenough O'Malley Motors Game Day, 3/4 time. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy. Glenn Bundan and Peter Forenza bringing you all the action this afternoon as we look at what has happened in this game. Still a really tight contest, still anybody's game. And with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton, our 3/4 time summary. Rovers 7-10-52. They trail Railways 8-8-56. 4-point margin in favour of the Blues. Railways have led throughout. They led by 10 points at quarter time, 7 points at half time, 4 points at 3/4 time. Our goal scorers for Rovers, Toby Simpson has 2, Farron Parfitt 2, singles to Delton Jones, Roland Drummond and Jai Thurston. While for the Railways Club, Dean Anthony has been a star with 5 goals, Ben Saunders with 2 and Dion Drage with 1. Our contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Peter, who did you like?
Glenn Adamini, Dion Anthony and Ben Saunders with those that be predominant in the third term.
What to like about Rovers, Josh Simpson, Kobe Simpson, Sean Brennan, all working hard. And we're underway in this final term with thanks to Russell Chartered Accountants. And the ball is quickly come out to the broadcast box side of the ground. And we'll see the ball thrown up again by umpire Pratt. Umpires this afternoon, Osborne, Starling and Pratt. Ball thrown up. Once again, a player is tackled. Didn't have much prior or any prior opportunity. So umpire will throw the ball up. The big fellas will go at it. And once again, MJ McConnell doing the rucking for Railways. And young Blake Tazewell doing the rucking for Rovers. But it's rove there by Railways player and Henry Anderson. Quickly gets towards goal. Ball running free. Railways trying to put a handle on it. They're only metres from goal. But the Rovers defence do well there through young Jamie Greer. He kicks it out towards the clubroom side. In goes Bo Simpson. He gets knocked out, or knocks legs out from under him. And he gets back up, does young Bo. Bo Simpson gets a handball away in the end. Goes the way of a Rovers player. And the umpire will quickly come in and throw the ball up. Quickly going around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. 3/4 time out at GBSC Sports Park. And Brigades 21-6-132 to Towns 2-2-14.
Well, it's pretty close. Just 4 points the difference at 3/4 time in a match of the day, and Glenn certainly can pick them. 3 games in a row, Glenn. Can you keep it up?
Well, we're going to Mullawar next week when they play on Railway, so that will be a tough one.
The ball into the half-forward area now for Railways. Can they get a goal on the board? Priolo puts it onto his boot, shoots on goal, and in fact, play wasn't Priolo. I think it was the youngster that I thought played pretty good in the first term. And I'll just get his name here, Glenn. I think it was double check on that one, but it was into a silhouette that we noticed that goal.
Okay.
So Henry Anderson will give him the goal at the moment, but a much-needed goal for Railways. Anyone that scores early, anyone who scored early in this final term was certainly going to get up the ante somewhat in our Greenough O'Malley game day, and that was an important goal. Kick from about just outside 50 metres as well. So the breeze isn't a factor here this afternoon. Be great conditions for football here at Greenough Oval. The ball coming out of the middle now. That player Anderson picks it up again, gets it to Adamini. Adamini onto his half-forward, onto his boot into the half-forward area. But it's marked by Egan in the last line of defence for the Demons. Gives it away to the player there in Gear. Jeez, he's a worker, is Gear. He sends it further afield. Get toward our broadcast position, but Railway's able to collect it, send it into the half-forward area once again. Egan collects it and snaps it back onto his boot, straight down the middle. The mark is taken by Saunders. Saunders, the cream rises to the top, and he certainly has in this particular game. He kicks into the half-forward area, but it doesn't meet the intended target. Comes off hands. Now it's picked up by Bo Simpson. He gets over to a teammate. Rovers have possession as they take it down the Horde Road side of the ground through Alec Johnson, but he's curtailed in his efforts and is knocked over the boundary. So the ball about to be thrown in early stages of the final term.
Yes, 2 minutes gone in this final term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. And the ball comes back into play. Railways have an opportunity now. They have the ball in their forward 50. Umpire says play on. Both players are in it and has no option but to come in. And he's picked out a free kick. And he's telling the players to get out of the road. I've made a decision. And he's going to throw the ball up. No, he's not. And a 50-metre penalty. So Rovers player has said something to the umpire and not a thing to do. And the free kick will go the way of Railways who'll shoot an open goal there, and that's a good goal from Dion Anthony. So Anthony's got a couple of free kicks today, and he has got his 6th goal, and he's done it pretty well. So a very important goal, couple of goals to Railways, so they've broken open the game very quickly.
50-metre penalty in a game this close is not good, Glenn.
No, it doesn't help. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Railways are 10-8-68 to Rovers 7-10-52. It is a pretty interesting scoreline. It's broken open a little bit now, and it's a 16-point margin in favour of the Railways side. As we quickly go around the grounds, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton, and 3/4 time up at Mullawar, and Northampton 11-16-86, lead Mullawar 3-3-21. 3/4 time out at Eden Clark Oval at GBSC Sports Park, and Brigades 21-6-132, lead Towns 2-2-14. As the ball comes deep into the pocket, and once again the opportunity for Railways to get a score on the board. They had the ball within 55 metres.
Adamini's been pretty dominant in the centre early, Glenn.
He's been great. He's been great throughout the day. He's one of the key players, and he's certainly had lots of the ball and working very, very hard.
Have we got him for Country Week?
No, we haven't. I don't know. No, I don't know about Jesse. He's probably, hopefully he's available, but I don't know. The ball comes back into play, goes deep into the pocket, and goes the way of a Rovers player who has marked it on the back line. Kicks it back out. Good bit of play there from that player. Gets it further out on the outer side. Pack around the ball. Railways send it back up towards half forward, but this time it's cut off by the Rovers defence in Tristan Simpson, playing against his old club. Feeds it out to cousin Kobe, who's been really good this afternoon. Kobe gets it up forward, looking up there for Jai Thurston. Jai Thurston didn't get the ball away from him. Good tackle put on him from the Railways players, including Jamie Huggins and the other Railways player, and Declan Scriven, and they held the ball in close. Umpire Pratt puts the ball into the air. Blake Tazewell has the best of it. Blake Tazewell will get the free kick, and Blake Tazewell on half back will send the ball forward for Rovers. Rovers need to score. They need to score quickly. The ball is now with Tazewell. He decides to come out towards the broadcast box side.
Oh!
Looking for Clay Azevedo. He went high, couldn't mark. Picked up and rove beautifully by Rovers Thurston. Thurston kicks it up towards the hard-running player there for the Demons in Sean Brennan. He couldn't pick up the ball. Big pack developed. In goes Brennan again. Feeds a handball out, but it's picked up by Kimberley. That's Matt. Matt gets it out towards the hard-running Drew Tunbridge. Tunbridge on half-back. Back towards Matt Kimberley. Kimberley short pass to Ben Saunders, who marks in the centre of the ground. And once again, Railway starting to steady the ship. Play well. Good kick. Good mark. As Jamie Huggins grabs the ball. Good mark. Kicks towards full forward. And he's offline. And the ball goes out of bounds. Ooh. And a bit of pushing and a bit of shoving. And the umpire said not a lot in that. And he said, boundary umpire, throw the ball back in. So it's deep in the pocket. And we'll see the ball thrown back in. So the boundary umpire's asking the question. He was wondering whether there was going to be a free kick.
I think there's a bit of trash talk going around, Glenn.
So the ball throws the ball over, whistle on play, and the ball will be thrown up and goes the way of Rovers and goes the way of Chris Scott. He bounces the ball, but he misses the ball. So Rovers in trouble as Railways rebound through Jesse Adamini from 50 metres. Kicks it towards forward pocket. Almost a mark to Ben Saunders. But Ben didn't mark it. He almost did, almost could have, but then he was held while not in possession. So Ben Saunders will get the free kick, and now a 50-metre penalty. So we've seen it 2 undisciplined acts in the last few minutes, and Ben Saunders will get another one, and he's clearly one of their better players. This will be his third goal of the afternoon.
As I said, the cream rises to the top with Ben Saunders, and he is a trooper, and he's come through this afternoon for his side, and maybe that might just be enough to hold a gap between this game. A little way to go in the final term, but in the context of this particular match, it's been close all day. And when players like Ben Saunders start to have an impact, they certainly do have an impact on the scoreboard. The ball coming back to the middle now.
Well, we've only played 6 minutes in this final term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, and Railways have broken the game open. 3 quick goals in the first 6 to 7 minutes, and we saw a goal to Anderson, then Dion Anthony, and then Ben Saunders. So the margin has blown out On the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Railways 11-8, 74, Rovers 7-10, 52.
Ball back in the middle, goes away Williamson. He tries to get away to a teammate there, unlucky. Simpson been a bit quiet in the middle stages of the game, gets the ball for Rovers, gets it to a teammate straight down the middle. Simpson gets through a couple of players, but is caught about on the third man. They tried to get around. He gets it away now, goes the way of Brennan. Brennan puts it back inside the corridor. It's picked up by Railways now. The Railways player who picks up the ball is Anamini. Anamini puts it onto his boot and puts it into the middle of the ground. The mark is taken there by the player there in Huggins.
He's been good.
He has. He gets it away now to Dion Anthony. Anthony to the outer side, finds a teammate who kicks it down the Hallwood Road side of the ground. Railways kicking into the sun in this, the final term, but they're doing it well as they're starting to find some form as a Rovers player is caught in possession, and a free kick will go the way of the player in Henry Anderson. Anderson sends it inboard. He gets it back again, goes one way then the other, sells the dummy. Good player is Anderson. I've liked his game this afternoon. Gets it away to Anthony. Anthony onto his boot into the half-forward area, and the mark is taken by Williamson. So Williamson, he's about, just on 50 out, one would think. He's going to kick toward the big sticks. It's a nice kick, but not accurate. He kicks it into space. Up go a couple of players, and the mark is taken by Saunders as he comes through the middle and takes a fine mark. So Ben Saunders is putting on a clinic at the moment, Glenn, and certainly having a purple patch for the Blues.
Yes, Ben is going to kick his fourth goal of the afternoon. That is Ben Saunders, and he's trying to keep up with Dion Anthony, who's kicked 6. So they've been the key players for Railways, particularly in their forward line. So Ben Saunders, 15 metres out, and it's been a good start to this quarter. Railways have kicked the first 4 of the term and put the score and the result beyond doubt. And we're in the early stages of this final term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. And another goal, 4 in a row to Railways. And on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard, Railways are 12 goals 8, which is 80. And they lead Rovers 7-10, 52. And as we suspected, Peter, it would eventually, the Railways system and the Railways fitness would run over the top. So Rovers, they've looked good. They've had their chances. They didn't take their chances when they could have. And now the Railways machine is getting a run on and doing it pretty well in the middle stages or the early stages of this final term. Quickly looking at other grounds and other games, and at three-quarter time, Northampton 11-16, 86, lead Mullawar 3-3, 21. And the other game at GBSC Sports Park, at three-quarter time, Brigades 21-6, 132, lead Towns 2-2, 14. With thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton, as Thurston has the ball on centre wing.
Thurston now, he receives the kick, a beautiful kick off the half-back line from Azevedo. Liked him this afternoon too, puts it inboard. Mark is taken inside the corridor by the custodian for the Demons. That is Taswell. Taswell to the captain, gives it away to the player there in Parfitt. Parfitt shoots for goal. Is dealt with when he gets rid of the ball.
Free kick will be played up the ground.
He will, and this will be a certain goal for Rovers. But Parfitt's gone a bit quiet in the middle stages of this particular game, Glenn, but he will get a goal here, one would think. So Farron Parfitt will...
no, go to Dylan Curley up the ground.
Up the ground to Dylan Curley. So Dylan Curley knows how to score a goal or two. He's 10 metres out, kicking at the airport end. And that is a much-needed goal for the Demons. Is it enough to claw their way back? Rovers 8-10, and now trail Railways 12-8. So what do we got, a 14-point ball game?
Yeah, so we saw Railways kick the first 4 goals of the term, but it's going to be hard from here, but it's still not impossible. And a good goal there to Dylan Curley after a 50 metre and a kick up the field after Dion Anthony interfered with Farron Parfitt. So a much needed goal. So 58 plays 80, 22 points the margin in favour of the Blues here on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football, round 3 of the Active West season. And the ball to be brought back after that big kick. The ball's gone right over the back, so we're trying to retrieve a ball.
And people can join us tomorrow from 10 o'clock for Friends on Sunday. Just after 10, speaking with Lara Dalton, the member for Geraldton. Of course, the state budget taking place this week. What's in it for Geraldton and the Midwest? Tune in tomorrow to find out what is happening there. And also, we'll have a special Mother's Day show with a lot of fun and frivolity. Grant Woodhams, the vagabond of Gregory Street, joined also by the Princess of Tiltilly Rise. I'm talking about the lovely Nicola Dufour. Ball back in the middle as we head to the latter stages of this Drennan O'Malley game day.
Ball comes out of the centre. Trying to slap the ball forward is Chris Scott, but it's picked up by Railways. And the Railways youngster gets the ball forward there in Declan Scriven. Gets it out towards a teammate. That player is Henry Anderson. Anderson gets it up towards half forward, looking out there for a player in Kimberley, but Stuart Egan sees the ball across the ground and out of bounds. Be another boundary throw-in. So winners today in round 3. It would appear that Railways will be winners here, although Rovers still have the opportunity if they're good enough. But at the other games, Northampton too good for Mullawar and Brigades too good for Towns. Ball comes back into play, but not for very long. Ball goes out of bounds. So there'll be another boundary throw-in front of the Rover Football Club this afternoon. And the Rover football members would be reasonably happy with their way their side played for 3 quarters. They didn't get value for effort particularly early, and now they perhaps have run out a little bit of puff and a little bit of run, and Railways have been able to get over the top in this last quarter, outscoring very, very quickly and kicking the first 4 goals of the term, which doesn't help your cause.
One attributed to a 50-metre penalty too, Glenn.
That's right. Ball comes back into play, and once again, Rovers have an opportunity. Simpson grabs the ball, kicks it up towards the forward pocket, looking there for Curley, feeds it back, looking for Simpson again. Ball very close to the boundary line. The Railways defenders working hard. Rovers go in through the hard-working Jai Thurston. Ball comes out to Dylan Curley. He centres the ball. He picks out Tristan Simpson. Tristan Simpson in a Rovers jumper this year, and he's not going to be very happy because his old side is going to be too good this afternoon in this clash as Railways bring the ball out of defence, and it goes the way of Jamie Huggins, who has worked really hard this afternoon. Goes out wide, looking there for Kimberley. He puts a good pressure on, slaps the ball out. Picked out now by the Railways player there in Corey Clark. He gets it up along centre wing, looking up there for the big man in Ryan Latesia. But once again, the boundary umpire is called into play, and there'll be a boundary throw-in on the other side of Horwood Road here at Greenough Oval, and we've played some 15 minutes in this final term.
Sun-drenched Greenough Oval this afternoon, Glenn, as the ball comes in now. Rovers. Another sortie forward into the half-forward area. Goal here would be very important indeed as it goes away of the player there in Parfitt. It bounces past him, goes to ground. It's picked up by Curley. He gets it back to Parfitt. A handball away to the Rovers player. Quickly puts it onto his check side to kick on goal, but unfortunately he is inaccurate in Henry Cross and only puts it through for the minor score. So Rovers haven't given up yet, but maybe they've left their run just a little too late. The scoreboard reading: Railways 12-8 to Rovers 8-11. Thank you to Chapman Road Dental Clinic. The ball coming out of defence now with Railways. Finds this player. He's been good at a meeting.
We're not at a Melbourne game because not many people have left the ground yet. Because we see in those AFL games where people are quite happy to go at half-time. Everyone's stuck around.
Adamini gets it across to Henry Anderson. Adamini's probably been one of the best this afternoon. I'm going to have to decide that with Glenn as the game concludes. Who the best? There's about 3 or 4 in the mix as the ball goes into the middle of the ground now. And it is the Railways player who was caught with tackled without the ball. And he'll be the recipient of a free kick. I think it's Corey Clark who has the ball. He comes laterally, coming out to our broadcast position now. Railways are able to take it forward. Priolo takes a mark on a half-forward flank, not far from our broadcast position. He sends it in ball now. And they set something up. Looks like it's Huggins. Racking up kicks, Jamie Huggins.
Well, he does out on the wing. If no one looks after him, he'll get a lot of ball.
But straight down the throats on this occasion of Bo Simpson. Bo Simpson for the Demons. Finds a teammate. Laterally to him. He gets it away now. Gives it away to the player there in Townsend. Townsend, the youngster, puts it inboard. He finds his captain. That is Parfitt. Parfitt back to Townsend now. Townsend has a bit of a room. He bounces once, twice, 3 times. He puts it onto his boot. Can he set something up into the forward 50 over the top of a couple of players? And up goes a player to almost take the mark, and he does. And we're talking about Dylan Curley. It was almost in slow motion that, Glenn, as we called it. And
the pack went up,
and the ball just hung. And the ball just hung there in the air. So Dylan Curley now. Gee, Glenn, it's not over till it's over, as they say.
No, that's right.
And Dylan Curley is a pretty good goal sneak. He's on a reasonable angle. Is he on his right boot for kicking, Glenn? I'm not sure. Not sure what boot he is. Probably both feet, actually.
Oh,
he kicks across the face of goal. And that was probably a very important kick.
And a kick of a tired player, I'd say.
Exactly.
He's done a lot of work
3
today.
for a minor score and ticks over for Rovers, but not in the way that they would hope.
Yeah, only 20 metres out, 45-degree angle. They're certainly a forwards dream. Unfortunately, Dylan saw the ball slide across the face of goal and a minor score resulted. So Rovers still in the contest if they get a couple of quick goals. But at the moment, Railways look to be doing them on a break. Ball comes out of defence, but Rovers mark. And Chris Scott is that player. Chris Scott, the captain, had a quiet game by his high standards. The ball comes the way now of the player there in Kimberley. Comes back from the Railways defence, looking again for Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders tackled, thrown to the ground. Rovers player tackled high as he had his head down. The umpire says play on. Ball comes out again to Farron Parfitt for Rovers, trying to get some movement now. Goes the way of Simpson. Simpson handballs it the way of Tazewell. Tazewell gives it away to Josh Simpson. He kicks the ball deep towards goal, looking there for Curley. And Curley soccers towards goal and offline and through. In fact, it goes across the face of goal again to the other side. And there'll be a boundary throw in deep in the pocket as time ticks by in this final quarter for GT Russell Chartered Accountants on Greenough O'Malley Motors game day. And we've played 17 minutes, heading towards time on in this last quarter.
Ball coming in now. Just near the goal square for Rovers. The defence for Railways resolute as it comes out the way now of Jamie Huggins. He's had a good final term, getting a lot of kicks as he kicks down the wing just in front of our broadcast position. He's looking for a player there to Mark Priolo obliges. Priolo looking into the sun. He's looking for options upfield. He sees one in Ben Saunders, always an option. Always makes an option anyway. Sends it inboard and finds the youngster there in Connell. Connell will go laterally now to the outer side. He finds that player in Anderson. Anderson liked him today, as I've mentioned. Kicks into the half-forward area. Players setting themselves up. They go. It's Dion Anthony amongst a host of Demons players unable to take the mark. He falls to ground. He's also not able to pick it up and get out of danger as the ball comes down the corridor. And the mark is taken by Bo Simpson.
And Bo Simpson copped one high and late. The umpire said that's a 50-metre penalty. And going on what happened in the AFL this week, it was lucky it wasn't a 3-week suspension, but it wasn't. It was the umpire played what it was, a free kick and a 50-metre penalty, and now an opportunity for the player to send the ball deep forward, and that's Bo Simpson kicking it up towards Roland Drummond. Roland couldn't mark the ball. Pack develops, and umpire Osborne will come in and throw the ball up. And the ball is about 40 metres away from the goals for Rovers. Rovers kicking to the airport end in this final quarter for GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Picked up again by Dylan Curley, who's been good this quarter, trying to get the ball forward. Finds Roland Drummond. Roland Drummond shoots on goal from 20 metres. And Roland gets his second goal of the afternoon. And Rovers get their 9th goal on the Chapel Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. Rovers are 9-12-66. They trail Railways 12-8-80. 14 points the margin. So Rovers working their way back into the game, but perhaps a little bit too late. But there's still hope while there's still time, and there's still hope if Rovers kick a couple of quick goals in the next few minutes.
Yes, it certainly has been a great game here this afternoon. As I've mentioned, country footy at its best. So you must get around to GNFL matches on each and every week. Every Saturday, Glenn, there's a GNFL match. We broadcast one of them, but there are 3 games on every Saturday. Sometimes there is one out of town. If you want to go down to Northampton, Chapman Valley or Mullawal. Nabra, I'm talking about at Chapman Valley, and the other 3 grounds here in town to see some of the best country football in Western Australia with some of the youngsters coming through. As we all know, we have some youngsters that really pick a great career path in the GNFL to go on to bigger and better things in the AFL. The ball back in the middle now.
And in this final quarter, Peter, we saw Railways kick the first 4 goals, and Rovers responded with the next 2.
Yes, so interesting if it comes down to that 50-metre penalty, Glenn. The ball coming out in the middle now, going the way of Williamson. He's unable to collect it. Rovers quickly bottle it up. A free kick will go the way of the Rovers player, is held when he didn't have the ball.
Mitch Nesbitt.
Yeah, Nesbitt kicks it into the half-forward area. The mark is taken by Tezwell, the young ruckman, emerging ruckman in the GNFL. Kicks into space now, and it looks like it's Kobe Simpson who's running onto the ball. He's unable to collect it, but the bounce is kind for Simpson. He's able to get it on the second attempt, is tripped in doing so, and gets another free kick. So Kobe Simpson, he sees the lead, and the lead is by Farron Parfitt, but the ball is slapped away above his head, going toward the boundary. Railways working overtime now as they try to hold this game in their keeping. The ball going the back way of Kobe Simpson. Too, Glenn is probably been one of the better players for Rovers today.
He certainly has. He's worked really hard, and a lot to like about the way Kobe Simpson has gone about his work. So the ball to be brought back into play. So the ball thrown back in. A whistle on play. The umpire said it wasn't far enough in, so the young umpire will throw the ball in again. 14 points the margin in favour of Railways. Railways have led throughout. They led by 10 points at quarter time, 7 points at half time, 4 points at three-quarter time. And they lead by 14 points now as MJ McConnell, the ruckman for Railways, handballs the ball straight towards Bo Simpson for Rovers, who kicks the ball back into the forward line. But Railways can mop up through Tunbridge. Tunbridge goes into the midfield where he finds Kimberley. Kimberley plays on quickly, and that's Matt. Matt Kimberley kicks it the way of the teammate there, and Henry Anderson. Anderson puts it on his boot, kicks it out towards centre wing, outer side. Looking out there for the running player, but Rovers had the race towards the boundary line, but the ball goes across the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw-in. Time ticking by in this quarter. We've played 23 minutes in this last term.
Just thinking, you talked about a short season in the GNFL this year. Rovers go into the fourth round, 0-2 makes it a little tough.
It does, but it's an interesting one. And they play Chapman Valley next week, which won't be any easy game for Rovers or Chapman Valley. So it'll be an interesting one. So, yeah, round 4, Rovers game of the year, and went down to Brigades by 35 points. They had the bye last weekend. Going to go down again today, and they've got another tough game. And next week, they are at home again. They play here at Greenough Oval. They take on Chapman Valley. Other games next weekend, Muller will take on Railways at Muller Oval. That's our Radio Mama broadcast match for Drennan O'Malley next weekend. And the other game, Northampton play Towns at Percha International Oval. So some good games next weekend as Rovers quickly go forward again. Big effort. Can Rovers get a late goal, make the scoreboard look a little bit more attractive? Whistle on play. Umpire said the ball was held in, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Only 10 or 15 metres away from Rovers' danger zone.
There's the siren.
The siren is gone, and the siren sounds like it's just about had its day as well. And Rovers have gone down here at Greenough Oval. Final scores in our Drennan O'Malley match day. Railways are winners. Railways 12-8-80 have defeated Rovers 9-12-66. 14 points the margin on the Chapman Road Dental Clinic scoreboard. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Our Drennan O'Malley Motors GNFL Game Day is brought to you by Community Bank Geraldton, who have been serving the community for over 13 years. On your home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
You're listening to Radio Mama, 100.5 FM through Geraldton, 102.9